So, James, what does the toilet mean when you see it?
I get... if I'm being perfectly honest, it's sort of like, almost like a... I was going to say enemy, but more like a torture, really. It's sort of like, I've had such a... For like as long as I can remember, since even before my parents got divorced, like when I was, 5 years old, like I've had a really difficult relationship with it, which sounds ridiculous, it's just a effing toilet. But even in and of itself, the design of it looks slightly comical, but I sort of hate it. It's sort of like, yeah, like a big wanker, or like, like a monkey on my back or something. That, yeah, yeah.
This is the world's oldest psychiatric institution. It used to be known as Bedlam, the place we hid those we called mad.
You need some medication.
Now known as the South London and Maudsley,
I need to speak to you.
it treats 50,000 patients a year.
Any sign that you shit yourself?
I don't think so.
And numbers are rising.
Relax.
The staff and patients open their doors
Sit down.
to show us what Bedlam is like today.
As you said, just keep going, stand up. Would you like me to stay here or would you like me to come back?
Can you stay here? Is that all right?
That's absolutely fine.
It's a condition all of us experience at some point in our lives. But imagine if you woke up one day to find your anxiety had taken on a life of its own.
I feel a bit anxious because part of my therapy at the moment is tackling opening and closing drawers and doors only once. But what my OCD wants me to do is it wants me to open the drawers and check them a certain number of magic times. In my case, magic numbers are things like 1, 2, 4, 7, 11, 13, 16, 24, 33, 53, and they go on up to 1,234. So what my therapist had me do was just try to open the drawer once and put my clothes inside and then close the drawer. Now my OCD is telling me it didn't feel right closing that drawer. So I'm going to want to open the drawer again, and then when I close it, it has to sound right and it has to feel right. So to me, that didn't quite sound right. So my OCD tells me I need to open it and close it again. But now the problem is that wasn't a magic number. That was a number 3, which isn't really good for me.
Why?
Because it doesn't feel right. And it's no other reason than that. It's all a feeling-based thing. The 3 for me is a number that is bad.
Aaron is 40, a middle manager with an oil company. He's one of 16 patients on an intensive therapy programme at the hospital's national unit. It treats the most anxious people in the country.
Do you need anything from your room or?
The top 1%.
Yeah, the front door. Now, I'm not going to touch it now with these gloves, because these gloves are contaminated from being in the kitchen. But the cleaning ladies, they often tend to carry the rubbish in one hand, and they'll even be using that hand to press the button to get out and then pulling the door open. So, like, that handle is like contaminated by from the rubbish, they've been handling.
Excuse me.
You could nip out now quickly.
Well, theoretically. But then how would I get back in?
So now, right now, I'm very aware of all these people and sort of watching where they are, where they're going. And so if suddenly someone disappeared round the corner, I'd probably be quite anxious that I'd done something to them to make them disappear. And particularly because there's been there There's a rubbish bin there, there's a rubbish bin there, and there's one here. I know where they all are, so I'm worrying if I've put them in the bin.
Helen is 33, a librarian at the British Museum. She obsesses about causing harm to strangers.
This is just then, I couldn't see that guy for a minute, and I was quite scared. Oh my God, he's vanished. But he's there.
It's there.
Yeah. Yeah. And now I'm thinking, is that the same man? And so on.
You've been with us that whole time. So, if you said, have I done anything to that man, we could tell you no.
Yeah. It would help a little bit, but probably not absolutely, no. It's not rational at all like that, you know. I can't just explain it away to myself.
6, 7. Now by going to 7, I've gone up and down twice, which is also 4 times, and 7 and 4 are 11, so that's good. I would hide it from everybody I knew because I didn't want anybody to see my craziness.
Why are you letting us see that?
I know that if this can help at least one person know that they have a problem and they can be helped, that it's a good thing, really.
The news is full of bad stories about us being attacked, about paedophiles, about people being murdered. Negative stories are put forward constantly to us, which increases our perception of danger.
I never knew I was a lover, just 'cause I steal the things you have.
This could happen to any one of us at any one time. We're all on a scale. Every single one of us could be tipped over.
Still, I'm not from Barcelona.
Simon said 3 out of 4 who came to the unit would improve. Some would be completely cured. The therapy programme runs for 12 weeks.
Morning.
The theory is that if you can change the way a patient thinks, you can change the way they behave.
James. Hello.
James has been with us about 2 weeks now. He's got a long history of very severe obsessive compulsive disorder, mainly to do with making sure his bowels are empty, making them completely empty, and he'd go to extensive behaviours around toileting, wiping, cleaning, to be sure that he's not going to basically crap himself in public or have an accident, which will be totally embarrassing and be humiliating to him.
Can I open the door?
Anna is James's therapist. Back home, James has been spending up to 7 hours in the toilet.
He's basically been stuck at home with his mum in a very isolated situation where he's just spent a lot of his life around that toilet. He's had extensive treatment in the past as well, and nothing has really worked in the long term.
Keep moving. Well done. I thought actually what would be best to do is for you to go and get some lunch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Like everyone here, James lives in a perpetual state of anxiety.
I think, yeah, because I'm worried because because part of me thinking basically I think the underlying thing is I want to go to the toilet and and then like go have a shower and get dressed and do all of that before the community meeting at 1, which is just over 45 minutes away. And I'd see have you guys had lunch, or are you going to be having lunch soon? And I'm thinking, but then she's saying, oh no, you need to go when you have the urge. And the urge is there, but it's maybe not as strong as it should be. So okay, but then usually when you eat, it gets stronger. So maybe I should eat, or maybe I don't know. It's hard because I'll be thinking, oh, should I go to the toilet? Should I not? Because I'm thinking, this part of me wants to really go before the community meeting at 1. I won't have enough time to do it, and I don't want to be sat in community meeting because I hate all the sessions where we're just sat round in a circle. Really difficult because I'm just sat there, and most of the time you're sort of passively just listening. No, I probably should go to lunch. I probably should because the urge isn't that strong right now. So I should go to the whole. I just focus on my thoughts. I'm just ruminating the whole time. What's that sensation? What was the sensation? Do I need to go to the toilet? You sort of have to be able to, well, at least for me, I find I know I need to be able to just say, okay, come on, you know, almost give yourself a pep talk. Like, I've got to be able to do this myself, because if I don't, I'm going to be stuck doing this forever. I'll go to lunch.
What a good idea to eat.
Yes, probably. Yes, yeah. No, because I won't obviously community meeting and then, yeah. I should get. Yes, I'll have some lunch. Yes, a normal person would.
On his own for hours, absolutely hours, and you'd ask him what he was doing, and he'd say he was playing in his head. And with hindsight now, I thought to myself, I wonder if that was particularly normal, whether it was a portent of things to come.
Happy birthday, dear Jane.
I'd end up walking around with pictures of him when he was little, and just looking at him and the photographs and thinking, how has this happened? How has it come to this?
Just like you want, Mummy. It's for you and Daddy.
Through it all, I lost my James. I lost my little happy, loving little boy.
Morning. How are you?
A little bit anxious because I haven't gone into loo and stuff yet. So I'm a bit worried about how that will go.
Should we let you get on?
Is that all right? Yeah.
So far, James's therapist Anna has been coaxing him out of the toilet. But now, 4 weeks into treatment, she wants him to try and get out by himself. She's set him a target of 7 minutes, the average time most of us spend in the loo.
So how long ago is that?
No, probably about 3 years ago.
And what's your boyfriend's name?
Les.
Helen is being treated for an irrational fear that she's harmed people, specifically that she's put strangers in rubbish bins.
Would you ask him to check things like bins and...
Yeah. That just built up until he got sort of fed up with it, completely fed up with it, and took me home to my mum.
Do you love him?
Yeah, I do, yeah. Still do. We were together for about 8 years. Various times he sort of tried to prove to me that you can't fit people in bins, for example, by standing in bins in the middle of supermarket car parks himself. Sort of screaming and railing and...
Since the breakup, Helen has lived as a virtual recluse. She hasn't left the house or been to work for 2 years. Today she's doing a practical experiment, confronting her fear head on. She's heading to a busy part of London, where she'll be surrounded by strangers.
If you're going to walk down the street, just kind of walk, and I want you to kind of wander in and out. No stopping, no pausing, just kind of continuous. What's your prediction? What do you think might happen?
That I'll see people that I'm worried about and I want to check.
So you are going to feel anxious, and if you're not, we're not doing the right thing, right?
Okay.
How was it?
All right, quite bad. I'm worried about a man and a woman that went into Disney store.
Yeah? What do you think you could have done?
Put the man in a bin, and his wife will be missing him. It'll be terrible. It's almost like a physical urge when I'm walking down and people are going past, streaming past. I feel like every now and again catch somebody and it's like a physical urge to at least to turn around and
so you
look.
get them kind of in the corner of your kind of vision.
And it's really hard to just...
At some point, that person will have insight to say, I know this is stupid, but I know I'm not going to do anything, but at the time it feels like it. So there's a difference that the feeling is not a fact, is what they have to learn. That it feels real and it feels dangerous, but actually it's not. And they feel responsible, and it feels that the fact is real, but it's not. And that's what we do in the behavioural experiments, and testing that out. Let's find out if that is the case.
How are you getting on, James?
Well, I've had more than the amount of allotted time for going to the loo. I'm just trying to remember all the things that are sort of helpful, the things that Anna would say, and just the sort of phrases like, take the risk, and
James's fear
that,
is that he might shit himself in public.
If you do shit yourself, it's not the end of the world, because it's here, it's a safe environment. So especially, I'm just trying to think.
He's been in the toilet for almost an hour.
And just get into the shower. But it's hard because you keep thinking, but then after I'm in the shower, I'm going to get dressed. And then after I'm getting dressed, I'm going to be outside and around, and all this stuff happens then, and just marking and hopefully she'll be out in a minute or less.
Former pop star Gary Glitter has been released on bail after his arrest by police investigating the Jimmy Savile sex abuse allegation.
His whole life, since he was about 16, 17, has been completely ruined by it. And that's the only way I can describe it. He hasn't had a life. It's like somebody being in prison.
The first person to be arrested as part of the investigation, which is following up 400 lines of inquiry.
All these times that he's ever gone in anywhere, it's been absolutely heart-wrenching to take him and leave him somewhere and walk away. And especially an actual, mental hospital.
James lives with his mum on an isolated farm in the Cotswolds, run by his grandparents. As a teenager, she watched him go in and out of various psychiatric institutions. Each time he came out, James would feel better, until his OCD took hold once more.
I guess I just need to ask one question.
Last year, his condition became so severe, he had to drop out of university, where he'd just started a drama degree.
It's not what?
It's not. It won't get any marks.
Well, then you have to do a little bit more work to that one essay.
No, I don't understand. Why do I need to do more work if I want to do year one again?
Well, you're stupid, that's why, because they want you to do year two. That's up to you. You're going to end up not even going back to university.
Why?
Well, we can't sit in this. You'll be a student till you're fucking 30. Christ, James, I've been out. Do you know I've been out earning my living since I was 17?
Fuck's sake, Mummy, you really do it. I really.
Just send what you've got and let them fail you.
Why? Why can't I decide what I want to do?
Well, then you tell them you're not going to send it and it's not good enough. I'm sure that he can beat this, because he really needs to get back to university. He really, really wants to get on with his life. And I really, really hope that this helps, but I know that because he's relapsed before, that it would be completely unrealistic of me to think this is the cure to end all cures and he'll be all right, because OCD never goes away. He's got to learn to manage it.
I feel like it's been with me long enough, and because if I don't get on top of it now, then that's it really. I'm just going to be sort of stuck with the OCD and not being able to do anything, and I really don't want to be a sort of a waste of a human.
Police currently have 8 formal allegations against Sir Jimmy Savile, 2 of rape and 6 of indecent assault. But they say information is coming in all the time. Tonight, his family have announced
Helen has been making good progress. But a car that's been abandoned outside the hospital has set off another anxiety. That somehow she's caused a road accident.
All morning I've been worried, and I dreamt about driving, worried if it was real and not a dream. I've been out somehow, stolen a car somewhere and driven it. And now there's an abandoned car out there. So it's like, it must have been me. I think it must be dumped, so it's true, I must have driven it. Oh my God.
When a patient starts to obsess, the therapists are trained not to give reassurance. It risks turning something completely irrational into something real.
It must have been me. It must have.
Is there another explanation for it?
Well,
Nothing else?
It was like it's been dumped.
Well, you may have done it. I'm not saying you didn't. But what's the likelihood?
Quite likely.
Is it really?
Yeah, seriously.
You've gone out without knowing about it, despite having sellotape across your door.
Well, I had dreams about driving.
Okay, but we all have dreams.
I don't know if it was a dream, it must have been real.
Maybe it is, but we're never going to know. So you're going to take a risk. Might be true.
The weeks up until now I've been doing well. So, and then maybe it's just evening out. I don't know. But yeah, not so good.
Helen's condition, like many patients here, is driven by a less well-known aspect of OCD,
we're just wobbling it in.
called intrusive thoughts.
So who's this? This is our OCD bully, and it symbolises what people here are trying to fight every day. Often they think of people like it's like a devil, the OCD inside them. The question mark on its head is there for the intrusive thoughts that people have. The mobile phone for often gaining reassurance from people. I mean, words. One of the important ones is paedophile, written right around here, because that's a really common intrusive thought people have about the fact that they think, oh my God, am I a paedophile? If I have a thought like that. And so that's a common intrusive thought people have. Most people have intrusive thoughts. I get one quite regularly. On the way to work, I pass this little school, and sometimes there's a nice zebra crossing and there's a lollipop lady there, and these little girls come out and they're all holding hands and they're all dressed in school uniforms. And if I'm at the front in my car, I have this intrusive thought sometimes just to put my foot down and ram them all, because they all look so nice on the side. You just have this intrusive thought, go on, just ram them and run them down. It doesn't mean anything, and I don't worry about that at all. It's a normal intrusive thought to have. But if somebody thinks, oh my God, does that mean I'm some sort of child killer? Am I likely to do that? They may start going a different way, or really worried about it. If I act on that thought, it gives credence to the thought has validity and has some sort of meaning. So with intrusive thoughts, once you get one that gives you anxiety, if you act on that anxiety and do anything about it, it's more likely to carry on.
I get intrusive thoughts and it's sort of, thinking, oh, maybe you could do that. Or like suggesting you're in your house and then like the thought of incest might pop into your head for some reason, and you think, well, why the hell is that there? I don't want to do anything like that, and then you try and get rid of it because you feel, why is it there? Because you think, shit, I'm a freak, I'm abnormal. Why would I have these thoughts? No one else has these thoughts. You don't talk about that you sometimes get these thoughts for no reason, and then you start thinking of ways to try and deal with anxiety.
That was the most distressing aspect of all of this. When he was in the room with us, we were triggering all these thoughts off. And that you can't even put into words how that made me feel, and Hannah. It was just terrible.
James has never spoken to anyone about this, other than his mum and sister, Hannah. His unwanted thoughts feed off each other, escalating from incest to James's worst fear, that he could become the thing he despises most.
What I've done is I've printed off just some articles. I've got one on, I've got the Wikipedia on Joseph Fritzl.
Right.
A picture, Gary Glitter, an article about sort of Jimmy Savile and Gary Glitter. But also we've got a picture in this one of Joseph Fritzl.
Like the toilet obsession, the therapy continues to be about confronting the fear. Avoiding it makes it grow stronger.
James, just talking about them, what's that brought up for you?
I don't know, that I could be like them if I don't ritualise or try and control my thoughts in some way. I might be like them or have the thought, oh, they're nice people. I also feel like that, I don't know.
Okay. So just even thinking about them is making you feel...
Well, I've been ritualising every time I see the picture. It's sort of like I'm almost being infected by like some sort of, I don't know, black, tarry sludge or something coming into me. So mental, like the sort of the chant I have, I'm not a sex attacker, rapist attacker, paedophile, incestuous, necrophilia. So like I feel like if I just give 1 inch or 1 millimetre of anything, then that will be the start of like a slow, well, I'll be fall off a precipice, and that would lead to me becoming a pedo. Or wanting to be one or something like that.
Couldn't deal with seeing any family pictures or anything else because of the intrusive thoughts. So I put all the pictures in here. If he ever came in here, let me use this for an example. He'd pick that picture up and he'd look at it and he'd cover it up. And then he'd look at it again and he'd cover it up and try and cover it with something. And then he'd look at it again and cover it up, and that could go on for, well, 20 minutes, half an hour, even longer. This Jimmy Savile thing's not been brilliant, and I'd got to the point in the end where I wouldn't have the news on, because 9 times out of 10 there would be something about that, and then it would trigger it all off again. Though it seems absolutely incredible to anybody else outside, he absolutely genuinely believes that that is what's going to happen, no matter how ludicrous it is.
We know that OCD always goes to the most disturbing place, and if it's not to do with the thing he's worried about at the moment with children, it'll get worse and worse and worse. It always will try and go to the lowest common denominator. That's how our thoughts work. Particularly things like worries about being a paedophile. That's everywhere at the moment. Everybody's concerned that, you know, all these people that we respected are suddenly becoming paedophiles. So we worry if we have thoughts, even anywhere near that we must be bad to have the thoughts about it. In the 80s, when I started this work, people worried about, have I caught HIV? You know, they would be suddenly worried about anything that was red. Oh my God, is that tomato sauce or blood? Am I going to get HIV? And intrusive thoughts there. And nowadays, there is the kind of media obsession with paedophilia and rooting out and finding it much more rife than it is. And so it's quite natural that it's around, that those are the concerns that people have.
Left some of my water bottles popping open the laundry door.
Could we open the window, curtains a little bit? Or is that tricky?
We can, but I shouldn't be getting like this. Once you get into your glove mode, you can see here I've got my clean gloves set out.
Leon is a vegan.
Just take off this pair, which actually already a bit icky.
Over time, his beliefs have spiralled out of control.
And what are you using that as disinfectant down there? How often are you using that and for what?
Don't tell the therapist this. She's saying, have you been using that disinfectant? It isn't my main thing. I don't use disinfectant that much.
He's obsessed by the idea of being contaminated by anything that's dead, even an insect.
Is that about a week's worth or less?
Oh, this is only about a day's worth.
At 55, he was older than most patients.
Dump this in the recycling bin.
And didn't seem as desperate to change.
Get rid of these.
Your hands are so translucent now, it's difficult to tell whether you've got gloves on or off.
I can tell. You know, there's this Shakespeare thing where he said madness creeps in little by little. It does.
James was still a young man. Halfway through his 12-week course, his anxiety seemed to be improving. Over the last week, he'd been getting out of the toilet in less than 15 minutes. But with the unit closing for Christmas, it was time to return home to his mum.
How are you feeling about going back for a couple of weeks?
Quite anxious, actually. I guess because it's Christmas as well, like, everything's supposed to be fine and good and happy and wonderful, and I feel like there's a little bit of pressure thinking, because I so wanted by the time it got to this stage, I'd be like, if not better, but like in a good enough thing that my mum could really notice, and like I wouldn't fuck up Christmas. Not that I ever had, but like last year, I got up and I was like, oh, shit, I was in the toilet and I didn't have my Christmas dinner until like after 3 o'clock because I was in the bathroom up until then. So I hope that won't happen this year.
We'd arranged to visit James back at home over Christmas. The morning we arrived, he was stuck in the toilet. Things hadn't been going well.
Jamie? James? How are you doing? Do you want me to come and give you a shout in 5 minutes? Okay? And do you think you might be ready then? Okay, I'll give you a shout in 5 minutes then. Wednesday night, there was a film on the television about Alfred Hitchcock called The Girl. And he's a big fan of Alfred Hitchcock and his films. And he watched it, and he just went into meltdown afterwards. Because I didn't see it, but Hannah said, what a horrible man. And it was about his relationship with Tippi Hedren. And James just freaked completely. He's saying he had to get away. He was a horrible person, meaning James was a horrible person. He might be like Alfred Hitchcock. He was horrible. He was awful. And I ended up having to lock all the doors and hide all the keys.
The film portrayed Hitchcock as a sexual predator. Watching it had triggered James's intrusive thoughts.
Just getting angry, frustrated, shouting, screaming at my sister, telling her I wanted to die, for fuck's sake. I wanted to die. I mean, I feel just contaminated from having the thoughts. Just, you know, being around my mum and sister, I'm having intrusive thoughts. And the rest of the family I've been seeing, I just feel so guilty for having these intrusive thoughts, and I really wish I wasn't having them.
And in the end, I managed to persuade him to get into bed, and he got into bed because he was fully clothed still. And I thought if he gets into bed, maybe he'll go to sleep and calm down, and he did. And when Hannah and I knew he was asleep, then we went to bed. But we both sat up on the landing for ages. How are you doing, Jamie? Okay, do you want me to give you another shout? Right. So you don't want me to come and give you another call in 5 minutes? Well, he says that's not helping, so... He's been in there for nearly an hour now. When you're doing all this treatment and everything else, and I guess this is what Anna's told him, is that the last thing that actually goes, or you let go, is the actual intrusive thoughts and the anxiety about it. He said, you've got to go through everything else to get to that. Well, now that makes sense. So if that's the point he's at now, this is why all this has happened. And if that's the last thing he's got to let go, then hopefully in the next 6 weeks or whatever, that will also go. And then hopefully he should be able to move on.
After a major relapse at Christmas, James has returned to the anxiety unit. He has just 4 weeks of treatment left. He can't seem to beat the OCD bully that's controlling his anxiety.
So just imagine for a moment the bully, the self-critic of yours, is over there.
You know what, James? You need me, because if it wasn't for me, firstly, God knows, what horrible, evil things you would have done. And second, you probably would have shit yourself long ago. And, third, if it wasn't for, the things I do, you'd be deluding yourself, thinking that you were good at anything, that people liked you, that you had any friends, because, you don't. Everyone hates you, really, and that really, you're a worthless human being, really, aren't you? I mean, let's face it, skinny, scrawny, and just pretty degraded, piece of dirt. So if it wasn't for me, you'd be in a really shit position.
I don't have a sense there's lots more information we can give you. It's actually about you now taking what you've learnt and doing and practicing, repeating. It's not us being sort of mean or harsh, it's about saying, let's kind of switch gear now, so it really becomes something that you're kind of, you've absorbed everything and you're applying it.
Are you scared?
I'm scared. I'm scared for him. I'm scared for what the future might hold. Because if this fails for any reason, where else do we turn?
Helen's time at the unit has come to an end.
So no chance of a net of overextension?
I'm really sorry, it's not.
No. I think no. Today I realised it's time to go anyway. So.
Yes, well I think it is time.
Yeah.
You've had the longest extension of anyone I've ever worked with.
Have it, I really? Yeah. Had a good run in there.
Right, you got it in.
Pushed it as far as I can go.
If we kind of reflect on your first day here.
Yeah, that's the thing to remember, yeah.
How long had it been before you left home?
2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
Not leaving the house. It's about you kind of having that confidence, because it's kind of really up to you now.
I really don't want to go.
Give me a hug.
The thing is, she's taught me what I should do and what I shouldn't do. That's it, it's just entirely up to me now to implement what I've learnt and I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing still, but somehow I can't sort of get over the last hurdle of it. Yeah.
James has reached a critical point in his treatment. Anna is going to challenge his fears around the toilet in the most extreme way.
So just keep giving me feedback on what's happening, James.
He's like taking it a stage further now, so he's actually sort of sit on the toilet and strain.
Strain a bit, yeah. To really try and kind of recapture that, those sensations, but also that really sort of risky, I suppose, feeling for him that, he's making it even more likely he's going to shit himself. And then what he's going to do is just get up and leave the toilet. So kind of really sort of pushing things as far as he can, really. Keep going, James.
There was a fair bit of poo, but I haven't wiped, and is that okay?
That's just what we agreed, so keep going, James. Have you got your trousers up yet?
Yes.
Okay, you ready to come out?
Not ready, but yes.
Go for it.
Park.
Okay, should we go and try and sit down? James, you've done absolutely brilliantly. Have a seat. Well done.
I can't wipe until I actually go to the toilet properly again.
Yeah, absolutely. This hopefully will actually be something that kind of stays with you because it was quite a difficult experiment.
Yes.
Yeah. What is perhaps really important is you leave from here now and you write down exactly what you've learned.
Thank you, Anna.
We'd been told the key to making people better here was when they finally got insight. When they saw their greatest fear was just a fear and not a reality. It felt like maybe James had got to that point.
Okay, don't forget. Nope, I'm called, okay, today I did experiments. I was on the loo, moving, sat in one position, gone, strained, no wiping, just got out straight away and been around knowing that there was probably almost 100% there probably is feces on my arse, but the world didn't end as soon as I sat down for the first time, because I felt like it was going to, and remember that I've done that, and it's okay. Whew.
When James came to the Bethlem Royal 4 months ago, he told us this was his last chance to get better. Today, he's finally ready to leave.
I would like to say thank you to each and every one of you. When I had my assessment, I was thinking back in mind I probably wouldn't be allowed to come here, and even when I got here, I didn't think I would probably end up making that much progress. And though yes, I mean it's about me doing it on my own, and that's all that. But I wouldn't have been able to do. I wouldn't be to do what I've done, or basically be able to have a life now, and I've sort of now I'm able, well, I have the chance to do what I want in my life, and the OCD hopefully won't stand in the way, and that's down to all of you. You've basically transformed my life for the better, and for that I think I will always be eternally grateful, and sort of till the day I die. So thank you. Certainly the best I've ever been since I've had OCD. I'm sort of getting there. I am, I guess, fully discovering myself and not taking into account the OCD. The OCD isn't colouring who I am or my behaviours or anything. I am becoming the person who I am. This is almost like a good, like I've been through a nightmare for God knows how long, and now I'm entering sort of like a good dream. But that's all it is. It's a dream, and it might be taken away from me. So I just still want to let that happen. Yeah.
Is it a hard game?
Really hard, yeah.
For those we'd met at the hospital, it wasn't so much about finding an absolute cure. It was about learning to deal with the anxiety and then staying on top of it. Although Helen was still struggling with her thoughts, she'd actually made it back to work. After 2 years of being stuck at home. She still hopes she can get back together with her boyfriend. Aaron's anxiety hasn't gone completely, but it doesn't dominate his life anymore, and he no longer hides it from those closest to him. As for James, 6 months on, he's returned to university in Exeter to redo the first year of his drama degree. So far, he's kept his OCD in check and is enjoying a life free of anxiety.
This may seem a bit weird, but yeah, I'll just do it anyway.
Thank you. I don't wanna die in the
How long have you been in here?
How long?
Yeah.
I think I've been in here for 2 days now. I came in Sunday night. Well, early out of Monday. Basically, I wanted money for an iPhone off my mum, and she gave my brothers all a lot of money because she's got a pension now, so she's got a lot of money. And I literally asked for £600, and I said I'll give it back to her this Thursday and the rest on Tuesday with extra money on top. And it just got into a big argument, and I told her I'm going to kill her, and I said, if I stay in this house, I'm going to smother you in your sleep, and I'm stronger than you, so I'll win. And she smacked me in my face, and I grabbed her face, and I was like, don't ever touch me again, because I love you, but I will hurt you. And then she called the police, and the ambulance came, and then I had to come here.
This is the world's oldest psychiatric institution. It used to be known as Bedlam, a place we hid those we called mad.
He needs some medication.
Now known as the South London and Maudsley,
Andrew, I need to speak to you.
it treats 50,000 patients a year.
Any sign that you shit yourself?
I don't think so.
And numbers are rising. The staff and patients open their doors
Sit down.
to show us what Bedlam is like today.
Well, Hamid doesn't need to be here, is he?
Her responsibility to look after.
This is a place most of us will hopefully never set foot in.
When she is downstairs in the ambulance, could you just give us a ring, just so we'll come down with sheets, or well, a couple of sheets to cover up with, yeah?
An A&E ward for mentally ill patients in crisis.
I'm 50 years old. This is my wife.
56-year-old Emmanuel pulled a rail off the wall of a 99p shop and started to hit staff with it. 20-year-old Gemma regularly threatens to jump off London Bridge. She was admitted after taking an overdose.
You've got to understand, I'm scared. Yeah, completely. I'm scared.
Most of these people have reached a point where they've become so ill they're considered a danger to themselves or to others.
I just want to do herbal medicines.
Come in.
So this is your room?
Come. This is the sleeping area.
Katrina is studying for a degree at one of the UK's leading drama schools. At 22, this is her third admission to hospital. She has schizoaffective disorder, characterised by mood swings and delusions.
So that's my bear in bed. I don't want to bring too much. The last time I came into hospital, I practically moved in. So I've decided just a few outfits, some underwear, my handbag, food. Do you want a Jaffa cake or some cheesy things?
I'm all right then.
I'll have a Jaffa cake then. There you go, baby. Love you.
What do you think of your room?
I love it. You get so much support and help from family, friends and the nurses and the doctors. You've got this big open space to yourself if you want to lock yourself away. It's just like having your own little apartment. Like, what are they called? Studio flats. That's what it's like.
The Trust pioneered the use of short-stay wards like this one, known as Triage. Katrina and patients like her are assessed and either go on to a longer stay ward or back home to be looked after in the community.
Risk to self, put electric cord around his neck, self-neglect, poor self-care. So
With beds at a premium, Triage is like a sorting office, determining who really needs to stay in hospital. But the decisions carry risks.
Here, there is a particularly high level of decision making. You know, we've got 18 beds, there's a fast turnover. We might be making 50, 100 important decisions a week, and they affect people's liberty, they affect people's safety, they affect public safety. Nobody wants somebody to leave the ward and to take their own life. Nobody wants anybody to leave the ward and take somebody else's life.
What is it? What is it?
I'm just checking everyone.
51-year-old Rupert has spent much of his adult life on psychiatric wards.
You find anything funny? You find something funny?
What's wrong, Rupert?
What's wrong? Make I tell you something. Yeah. Come to my house. I ain't up here.
Rupert?
Yeah. Okay. You're a cameraman? Are you a cameraman?
I'm a cameraman, yeah.
You're a cameraman?
I'm a cameraman.
When you make a movie?
I'm making a movie about the people that come onto Triage and the people that treat people in Triage.
Go by the way.
He came here from Jamaica as a young boy, but struggled to settle.
Should we go out or stay in?
I think I'll probably stay in.
By the age of 17, he was diagnosed with bipolar affective disorder. Rupert came onto the ward voluntarily after an argument with a neighbour. But he can't leave until the doctors say so.
So we're here to listen to your side of events and what's been happening for you. Could you say a bit about why you've come into hospital and how you've been feeling in recent days?
I was forced to come in. Girl does this. He got baby with a black person, right? And she's insulting me by telling me that I'm Jamaican, that's rough. What does it mean by that?
Okay.
What plans did you, sir?
I'm the consultant that runs the ward here at Lambeth Triage ward, so...
So in your opinion, am I mental?
Well, what do you think would happen if you were to return home now, for instance? Do you think there might be any problem there at home with your neighbours?
No problem.
That's good to know. The last thing to say before we finish is just with your medication, we've noticed that the dose of the sodium valproate is just is on the low side at the moment. So that's what I would suggest is maybe just staying here on the ward for the moment. Well, I think we'll try and get you to speak to the home treatment team tomorrow. I'd like to think that you'll be able to go home reasonably soon, depending upon the factors that we've discussed.
Next week, no problem. Next week.
Well, we'll see.
Next week, sir.
Okay, we'll finish there. Thanks very much.
No problem.
Okay.
Love you, boy.
Take care.
I'm going home. Get around the street. I'm spending people up here. Hear me? Move! Don't like you. Excuse me.
Like Rupert, half the patients on the ward are here voluntarily. The other half have been sectioned, brought in against their will under the powers of the Mental Health Act.
Nice and relax, Gav. Nice and relax, buddy.
Mental Health Act means you effectively detain people, you effectively imprison them. That's obviously quite a power, and you have to sort of consider that quite carefully, because you're depriving somebody of liberty.
This is not prison. They'll be declared fit by psychiatrists. We're not policemen.
Here in Lambeth, the rate of serious mental illness is 3 times the national average.
Is she lashing out? Is she hitting people?
Social deprivation and drug abuse play a part, but mental illness can affect anyone.
If you speak to the chef, tell him my compliments.
My last chief. Make me tell you something.
I'm not sure.
if I understood him correctly, but he seemed to be saying that he was going to murder me if I ever went to Tottenham. Huh?
When we first met Dominic on the ward, he seemed perfectly sane.
You stop singing.
I'm not singing. You want me to start singing? What would you like me to sing?
Anything on Christmas, girl.
What would I want to sing?
Once in a
Well, David City, the cattle shed,
wherein
the later.
David was a little child.
Jesus Christ, the little child.
Correct.
When I saw my wife and 2 daughters off, unusually, I always kissed them goodbye in the morning. I actually walked, even though it was a rainy morning, to the end of the path in my dressing gown. And as I used to when they were really small, was blowing kisses at the girls, waving them goodbye. I got dressed, I went to the shop to buy the paper like I always do if I'm not working. And I don't know if it was something online or something on the radio. I really can't remember. But I can remember with great clarity, I made a decision. I'm going to kill myself today. In terms of thinking about why I'm here and the circumstances of the overdose, still in a state of some confusion. I still don't understand why I did that.
You should stay here for the moment and for tonight, and we'll have a look at things again tomorrow in terms of how you feel. Take it on a day-by-day basis, perhaps, at the moment.
I'm 50. What the fuck? You can't give me what I want, so let me go.
It's a bit of a crash landing in the world of mental health.
I'm just writing this letter to you to apologise for my bad behaviour that I started towards you. I did not mean any of the things I said, and I know they hurt you. I hope you can realise how much you mean to me. And at times you make me want to hit you, but you are my best friend, and if I killed you, I would then have to kill myself, so that I could be a free soul. Hope you understand. Love you always. Kiss, kiss. Finish.
You okay?
Yeah.
Why are you crying?
Because I'm gonna cry again. I just feel guilty about the way I've treated her, and it's not me, it's the bipolar, and she understands that.
2 days ago, Katrina threatened to kill her mum following an argument over an iPhone.
Oh, I can sing you a song, mate.
Her family admitted her to Lambeth Triage, a short-stay psychiatric ward where she's being assessed. She's still quite manic.
I had a dream that my friend's got us on the train and there's a terrorist bomb, so I don't want her to go to work this week. I believe in a greater force. I believe in reincarnation.
Right, okay.
Maybe I was a bird when I was alive before. I want to fly. It's not really going to work. We're humans.
Having your belt taken, your razor taken off you when you arrive, quite a lot of metal everywhere, locks that can only be operated by the staff and not by the inmates. It feels quite like a prison. And I can see there's a reason for that as well. There are some seriously disturbed people here. And I can't classify myself as sane, having made a violent attempt on my own life.
Dominic, a creative director of an IT company,
This one?
came onto the ward yesterday.
This one?
His wife and children found him collapsed in the kitchen after overdosing on pills and alcohol.
Yeah. Come in. This is my wife, Rachel.
Hi there. Hi there. Hi. Have you had thoughts about what you want to do at this stage?
I want to go home. I want to set about that healing process with my children and with my wife, obviously. There are things I need to tend to, matters of work, and there are some life changes that I'm keen to get started on.
You obviously know your husband better than I do.
Yeah.
Do you trust him, or do you believe what he says? I mean, do you think he's spinning us a line? Obviously, because I have a sort of duty of care, so it's my responsibility that if I let you go and, you know, you jump on a train, you know, that's my fault.
No, I do believe that, I believe that he would be safe.
Assessing risk is not an exact science. Triage is a kind of halfway house.
Thank you very much.
For the patients, life is put on hold. Decisions are made for them and about them. Most want to get back to a world where they're free.
You know, it's not the first time he's expressed suicidal thoughts. It's the first time he's ever put them into play. He has been a very up and down person. He always suffered really badly from winter depression. He always had great highs and lows.
Dominic has been married to Rachel for 20 years. They have 4 children. After suffering years of dramatic mood swings, he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder 2 years ago.
I'd love him to be as happy and cheerful and lively as he was when we first met. But I also accept that perhaps some of that liveliness and wildness in his character was perhaps a symptom of his condition. But you can get away with it when you're 20 and you can't when you're 45.
Thanks very much. Thanks for your help. I'll see you tomorrow night.
After weighing up the risks with colleagues,
Somebody let me out.
Dr. Bagley has made a call on Dominic.
My judgment is that it's a fairly alien environment for him, so the better option was to allow him home. You can't spend your whole life uncertain. Sooner or later you're going to have to make a decision, and you don't always get it right. And you have to trust people. Because if you never trusted people, you'd never let them out. You know, we haven't got the space for them. And besides which, I mean, ultimately, people, you know, what I always say is that if you really want to kill yourself, you will kill yourself.
What are you looking forward to most then about getting home?
Hugging my children, I think. Sleeping in the same bed as my wife. Getting up in the morning and waking my children up. And all take a deep breath and hold hands and say, okay, now where were we?
The enormity of the decisions being made here was starting to become clear. Dominic would be going home in 2 days. Time would tell if Dr. Bagley had got it right. Rupert wanted his freedom too.
This is your room.
But the risk he posed was more to others than himself.
You happy with your room?
Happy with what room?
This room?
I don't live here.
No. But is it comfortable?
No.
Can I ask you, what do you think this ward provides for you?
Nothing. Nothing.
He's certainly got a history of underlying antisocial personality disorder, we think, with a history of juvenile offending and violent offending. He's been in prison previously.
Excuse me. Sir, I want the word, please.
So we're kind of on the cusp. I mean, the additional problem now is that obviously he's asking for leave and sort of asking to go home.
Right.
I suppose really what I was thinking was probably for today would be maybe for him to have a bit of leave to see how that goes on an informal basis, just for an hour or so off the ward, and to gauge how well that goes, and then maybe that might help us to decide on whether home treatment team might be suitable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Leave from the ward is down to the discretion of the doctors. It's won or lost on the basis of trust.
What are you doing? I'm going to go shopping.
No.
No drugs.
Oh, obviously
No,
not.
well, no drugs, no alcohol. Okay.
Right.
And you're not going to spend too much on
No,
it?
I've given myself a budget of £100 out of my £2 grand that I own.
And have you got access to the £2 grand?
Yes, but I won't spend it.
You sure?
Yeah, because I regret it every time I do it.
Sure.
100%.
Okay.
If I come back with more than 10 shopping bags, I've gone over. Yeah? I swear I won't. I'm literally just buying a few bits for myself and...
How reliable are you in such circumstances?
I'm very reliable.
I'm just obviously anxious. I don't want to cause
Don't
you...
be... You're going to cause me to have an anxiety attack in a minute. You're being anxious.
Yes.
You're making me all hot and bothered.
Well, it's just because I have experienced people
I know, and
who spend a lot of money.
I
so-
do. For Christmas, I spent £1 grand in one day and had to
Okay.
get cabs everywhere because I had so much shopping. But I swear, the most I'll spend, if I do go a bit doolally, it'll be 150. It will never be more
All
than
right,
200.
okay. Well, let's give it a try.
Yeah? Thank you, doctor.
All right, okay.
So I can leave?
Yes, you can leave.
Thank you. Hallelujah.
Right.
I'm going shopping. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Thank you very much.
Pardon? Phone us if there's any problems.
Yeah.
And the birds still sing outside these windows where we sat together.
Katrina's passion is the theatre. She'd just started a degree in set design when she suffered a first manic episode and had to drop out.
Seems everything around here stays like stone.
Most of her friends have since graduated.
'Cause everything will start again anew. 'Cause everything.
After 6 days on the ward, Dominic is home.
Good to be back.
Yeah, delighted to be home. It's been tough being away, you know. So it's good to be home, and it's good to know that, you know, things are going to change. So.
Hiya, I'm a nurse phoning from Lambeth Triage ward at Lambeth Hospital. We had a patient go out on leave early and he hasn't returned.
What's happened with Rupert?
Well, he's gone out on leave, having said that he would come back at 12 o'clock.
He was seen shortly after this in the outpatients department being quite verbally abusive.
What was he doing in the outpatient?
I'm not entirely clear. I think he's sort of banging on the window and shouting at them, but not in a friendly way.
He may have missed medication yet, but he is very intimidating. There has been some issues with his neighbours recently. He's not in the hospital grounds. We haven't done a search, no. Guess I'll just have a quick look round. I think it's pretty safe to say that he's not here.
8 hours after he was due back, Rupert returns to the ward.
My emotions, my people, come.
For the staff, trust has been broken.
Had he come back yesterday after an hour or so and continued to be relatively polite, we could have continued that today and he could have gone out again for an hour or two. But, you know, he stayed out for 8 hours, he's been drinking, he's come back with a large wooden stick, he's been very rude and abusive to people through the night, chased one of the female patients with a plastic knife, so it's just not acceptable to behave like that.
More surprisingly, Dominic is also back. He's readmitted himself 6 days after leaving the ward.
Sort of seemed in a manic mood, and then at which point he said, "Do you think I should go back to the hospital?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think you probably should."
Manic how? How is he manic?
He was sort of saying how he was sort of wandering around singing loudly, sort of marching around, you know, purposelessly, but sort of just behaving in a weird way, shouting at the top of his voice in public. You know, not the stuff you'd expect from someone who's completely in control of themselves.
I made the decision I would readmit myself, which I think was probably an overreaction.
Dominic wants to get out, but this is his second stay on triage in a week. There's growing concern about whether he's still a suicide risk.
We put in place a sort of a leave plan with home treatment team, which obviously didn't work out as well as we'd hoped because you had to be recalled. You know.
No, I didn't have to be recalled. I said, I think I should go back. In retrospect, an overreaction. What I should have done is gone and lying down, done some meditation, make sure I wasn't alone.
Okay.
It's been a mistake, and this is still a mistake. I shouldn't be here.
We will talk to the home treatment team about this tomorrow morning, and we'll see where we can go. And as I say, I think it would be useful to have that meeting as soon as possible. Okay.
As I say, no, I don't think it's okay. But I'm in your hands.
Okay, well, I mean, it's a difficult situation, but I mean, I'm not prepared to discharge you at this point. We're going to have to use a Section 5.2 just to say that, you know, you have to stay on the ward at the moment.
I'm not trying to escape, am I?
But you're saying you don't wish to be here, so...
Yeah, but I'm not trying to escape. I'm not banging on doors.
So
we're having a civilised conversation.
Absolutely, Dominic, but I have to be doing things from a medical legal perspective, which is correct, and, you know, you're clearly saying you don't wish to be here. You've said that now over a couple of days.
I'm clearly saying I'm taking your advice as a professional.
Well, no, you haven't said.
Okay, for the record, this is a qualified medical professional whose opinion I submit to. There's nothing I can do about that. Okay? There's never been any question of me trying to escape.
I mean, but with all due respect, in this interview for the last 15 minutes, that's the first time you've said that, and you've only just said that on the back of what I just said. So you have not said that you're willing to take my advice.
I am willing to take your advice. I'm sorry, I thought that was assumed. I'm not a doctor. Okay, thanks. Yeah.
The one I'm getting given now stops me from being really high. Like when I first met you guys, I was really hyper. I'm still hyper, but just under control. And then they give me another sedative, and then at night time they'll give me all of that plus olanzapine, which is at 15 milligrams, which is an antipsychotic, and lamotrigine, which is bullshit that doesn't work, which I'm on 125 of. Okay? Bye.
Many of those who end up on Lambeth Triage ward have relapsed because they've stopped taking their medication.
Was ist das denn? Nein.
What's that?
Seid ihr wohl verrückt?
That's your risperidone.
Quatsch.
So why don't we just take that one tablet?
No is no. This is in German, nein.
Okay.
Angelica has just been admitted to the ward in a confused state.
So given this with promethazine?
Yeah.
Earlier in the week, she flew to London from Germany to meet her fiancé.
I come to London. I know he loves me and I loves him.
And why did he know you were coming to visit him? Did he know you were coming to visit him?
No, it was a surprise.
A fiancé that she's come over to England for, as far as we know and as far as we've looked into, doesn't actually exist, and it's part of her illness that she thinks that a fiancé is here waiting for her.
Where is he?
Oh, I think he's in India. He's right in the prison.
What's he doing in India?
Business.
She's been refusing her risperidone medication for some time, so what we want to do is offer her that again. We've got it here, and if she doesn't take it, I guess we need to make a plan to give her the injection. So,
when people present in crisis, very often the one thing that makes the greatest difference is medication.
Is anyone going to volunteer to take an arm?
Yeah.
Do legs? Excellent, okay.
We spend a lot of time trying to encourage people to agree to take medication, but there are times when you have to do it against their will.
So, would you be happy to take the injection, or would you take the tablets?
I not this and not this.
Okay. The thing is that we're going to have to give you one of them. So the fact that you're refusing means that we're going to have to give you the injection. Okay.
The situation is that you need some medication. You need to take something.
And I say no. No, no, no. Nein.
Angela, I need to speak to you.
What?
I need to speak to you.
Nein, lies wieder gehört, bitte.
Angelique, this is last chance.
Oh.
We can't go.
Go.
That's it. Right. So we're going to shift the legs. Do it this way.
Sharp scratch.
If we didn't have medication, you'd be back to how Bedlam used to be, you know, because there would be no effective treatment and you'd have people having to be detained for very long periods of time against their will. And so if you like, one of the reasons we've been able to shut hundreds of thousands of beds since the 1950s is because of medication.
I can help you.
I need a cigarette.
It's never nice to have to restrain someone, but I think that went quite well, really, because she wasn't too distressed afterwards, and it'd be very cruel to leave her just thinking that she's waiting for this fiancé to come, and this fiancé doesn't actually exist.
What are they giving you?
And I ask the professionals. I just do what I'm told.
Dominic admitted himself onto the ward 5 days ago, but now feels it was a mistake.
Thanks.
He wants to go home. The doctors don't agree.
I had that dream about being trapped in here, indefinitely. At which point I woke up sort of gripping the blanket, sweating and shaking. And it's weird being controlled. It's all about control.
There are only two ways out of triage. Home, for those judged well enough,
Hello, just checking you're okay.
or further into the system. Having breached his leave, Rupert shows no sign of calming down.
So he didn't come back till about 7 o'clock yesterday evening. He came back with a very large stick, his stereo, some random pieces of fruit and vegetables.
What is this? What are you eating today?
Okay.
Me?
Go ahead.
I don't know.
1 minute he's absolutely horrible to you, and then the next minute he's trying to be your best friend. Very changeable.
What market do you go to?
Bristol Market.
Oh, nice.
My family went after Bristol Market.
That's where you go shopping?
That's where I go shopping.
Every week?
What do I mean?
Huh?
Oh, yeah. I kill you and kill me.
Rupert's been battling mental illness for the last 35 years.
I got my shoes.
How much?
$100.
Oh, a few £1,000, I think.
£2,000 what?
A few £1,000.
What do I mean?
Do you want to have a look?
His condition is worse when he uses drugs and alcohol.
I think we've got evidence now that he's still unwell, shouldn't have any further lead. I think we're going to end up probably going down the mental health act route again and probably resectioning.
I'm going home. I gotta go home. I got street. I got home. Yeah.
So what do you do from here then?
When the time comes they're going to review him, we'll get a team either go in or be outside, because when he's, I mean, it would be likely that he's going to get quite angry when he's told that he's being put on the section.
I wanted to talk to you about being in hospital and what your thoughts were about staying here. And also, not just that, but also not to have leave for the next few days, because they should be on the ward. Sorry?
I'm not on section.
Well,
I can't only
if you...
I know the law. I give me one do. I started one do.
Well, we'll come to that. If you're able to agree to this plan, then of course, but we need to get your agreement really. So that's part of the plan. You wouldn't be able to have leave over the next few days. We'd like you to stay on the ward for the next few days, okay? And if all that goes well, then of course we want you to remain informal as a voluntary patient.
Yes, exactly. This ain't gonna touch it. Yeah, go away. Got me done.
Okay, Rupert. Did you want to ask us anything today? Anything else?
My word.
What's caught your attention, Rupert?
The
painting.
Psychiatric hospital has become a revolving door for Rupert. He knows the routine. Today he goes quietly, moving on to a longer stay ward.
Thank you.
That's your medication.
Also cool.
Be able to sign it for me.
Yeah.
The doctors have decided Dominic can leave too, by the front door.
Great. Thank you.
Nice one. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
Hope not to see you again.
Yeah.
The doctor said we're very aware that you're not happy here and you feel it's having negative impact on your state of mind. So I'm glad they picked up on that. I thought they might have missed it. On that basis, she said, you know, we are happy to discharge you. You're good to go. Thanks.
I like to know where he is, and you know, if I'm not with him, I want to make sure that he's okay and stuff. Like, I'll just always be sort of checking up on him, which maybe he finds annoying or irritating, but it's sort of for my peace of mind. I want to know that, you know, he's all right, and you know, I don't want to be thinking all the time, you know, is he okay, and constantly be worrying. But it's just sort of what's happened. Like, I can't stop myself doing it. So I'm just trying to sort of calm myself and think it's going to be all right. I need to stop having sort of, you know, assuming the worst is going to happen, because it is going to be all right.
Three weeks have now passed since Dominic returned home.
Yeah, it's my husband, that's right. Has he been taken to A&E? Thank you very much indeed. He basically tweeted a suicide note. Rosa then found the tweet, so I reported him missing.
He's overdosed a second time, after dropping his son at university. Again, it was pills and alcohol.
It's all right, he is alive. They had, you know, all search parties out for him, dogs apparently, and a helicopter and everything. And then he rang at just after 9 this morning from the phone box, in tears, in great distress. He said, "You can't love me, I'm such an awful human being." I mean, yesterday morning I felt really pleased that he'd been, you know, he'd given me a big cuddle in bed, and I thought, oh, that's the first time you've done that for months. And then now I'm thinking, maybe he was just saying goodbye. Oh dear.
Oh.
Sorry.
Acceptable.
I'm exhausted.
A week after taking a second, larger overdose, Dominic has been moved back to Triage ward.
Dominic Collier. Risks are suicidal, ongoing suicidal thoughts. This AM, he spent the whole time in his bedroom.
At midnight, actually, he was busy doing some typing on his laptop.
and also at a point in time was observed crying. When staff approached him, actually, he said that he's feeling suicidal.
He knew the consequences of what he was doing. He said, "Your children will grow up without a father," and he knew that's what would happen if he did succeed in killing himself. But something didn't stop him trying to do it.
Where do you want him to be?
Right now, I want him to be in hospital. And I feel really guilty when I say that because I know how much he hates it there. But, you know, I can't tell myself different. I know exactly what I think, and that's that the only place that he's really safe at the moment is evidently in a hospital. So.
There's clearly some part of me that is not happy being alive. You know, I think there's more going on in my mind than I'm letting myself know. You know, it feels as though there's a murderer in my head that's trying to kill me.
Though suicidal, Dominic is still able to function, get up each day and get on with life. His behaviour doesn't seem to sit with the original diagnosis of bipolar disorder. His psychiatrist has begun to reassess what might be wrong with him.
I suppose we've always had in mind some aspects of his behaviour may relate to a more sort of deep-seated problem as part of his personality development, you know, personality disorder. Personality disorder describes a condition which is long-standing, present from childhood, whereby a person's normal personality development, i.e. behaviour, reaction to events, relationships, is abnormal. It's a problem that's more an integral part of his sort of makeup. He had a fairly damaged upbringing. He was abandoned by his biological parents. There's a pattern of impulsivity which has been present for a long time, running through the course of his development, which has been manifested through excessive use of alcohol and drugs and suicidality. My old friend Rupert is down there. I would love to. I'd love to come and do a duet with you, man. I used to sing all my children to sleep with that when they were babies. It's one of my favourite songs.
Redemption song.
It's all I ever had, Lord. Redemption song.
The new diagnosis means drugs and time in hospital are no longer the best treatments for Dominic.
I don't want him out yet.
Rosa?
My opinion is not going to change, no matter what you say. I do not want him out yet.
Rosa, I think you've got to be able to trust him.
I can't trust him, Mummy. What if he starts acting weird again when he's out?
Well, then we'll pull the emergency cord, I can promise you. Oh, darling, come here. Go on, it's fine. It's all right.
After 3 weeks on triage, Dominic returns home.
Thank you.
Thanks.
He'll begin twice-weekly therapy to try and manage his mood swings.
Hello, I'm home. How are you? Very good. It's a massive privilege being a parent. So pleased to see you. Hello, Zita. Bathing in the love of my family again. So glad I'm home.
6 months on, The therapy is helping Dominic deal with his emotions, and he's trying to win back the trust of his family.
Hi Rupert. How are you? Can we come in?
Yeah.
Rupert's back home too, after 3 months' treatment in hospital.
Is it nice being back in the area that you live in?
Yeah.
You got lots of friends here?
Some.
Well again, this was a different Rupert. 6'4", 24 stone. He was no longer the man you'd cross the street to avoid.
This is where you come to sit, is it, Rupert?
Yeah, normally, yeah. About 22 years now.
22 years?
Yeah.
Do you think you'll need to go into hospital again?
Well, you never can tell. I never can tell.
Sir Rupert.
So we've been doing.
This is Teddy Bear Rupert.
Why'd you call him Teddy Bear?
Because he's lovely, and he's big and cuddly. Yeah, and he's kind, and love people. Yeah. Or you couldn't walk in Rupert's shoes. You'd love to walk in Rupert's shoes.
Angelica had returned to Germany. She was taking regular antipsychotic drugs, and the delusions about her fiancé had gone. Katrina's stay in hospital seemed to have worked as well. She was back living with her mum and had signed up for an arts course.
So how have you been?
Really good. Really good, touch wood. Find some wood somewhere.
And why is that?
Because they've got the right dose of medication and the right medication that's in my system now, so it's working correctly. And it's helping with the highs and lows, so I'm not really getting them.
So how does it make you feel then, Linda?
Well, if I'm honest, I never thought I'd see the day. I thought, oh, she's always going to be suffering like this, and now she's okay. It's lovely.
So I'm glad I've been diagnosed young. I'm glad I've got the right mix of medication at a young age. So I can go back to university if I choose to, get a job if I choose to. So, yeah, it's good.
Find a cure for my life, find a cure.
Right, you lot can go in if you want, doors open. Right, let me do this. See, that's better. Right, question away.
What's Bertie the bedbug?
Bertie the bedbug. Do you know that's a bedbug's name? One of them's called Bertie. We've got like a whole family of them. Because they thought I was seeing stuff, because I was sitting in a public hallway because I couldn't sit in my flat no more. So they said that I was like sort of not mentally able to cope on my own, and that they had to section me on the section 3, and they concluded was that I'm paranoid about bedbugs.
This is the world's oldest psychiatric institution. It used to be known as Bedlam, a place we hid those we called mad.
He needs some medication.
Now known as the South London and Maudsley,
Angela, I need to speak to you.
it treats 50,000 patients a year,
Any sign that you shit yourself?
I don't think so.
and numbers are rising. The staff and patients open their doors to show us what Bedlam is like today.
Over there, so hypnotic.
do with your body? I guess you're like, ooh, baby, baby, ooh, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, baby. Got no drink in my hand, but I'm wasted. Getting drunk on the thought of you naked. I guess you're like, ooh, baby, baby, ooh, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, baby, ooh, baby, baby. And I try to fight it, to fight it. You're so magnetic, magnetic. Got one life, just let it. Now relax and get on your back. If you wanna scream, yeah. Let me know and I'll take you there.
50 years ago, you'd rarely see someone with mental illness out and about. They were locked up in Victorian asylums.
I'm going on the X Factor, and Britain's Got Talent. For going on there with no talent, and I will win it gracefully.
Today, here in South London, almost 10 times as many people are treated in the community as in hospital. They're our neighbours and live all around us. Tamara, a mum of two, is one of 6,000 patients treated in the borough of Lewisham.
She has persistent delusional disorder, and the persistence is about bedbugs. And she brought a small tube with some dead bedbugs in it. So there is no doubt that there are bedbugs in her flat. But what the patient imagines is that the bedbugs are behind her eyes and in places that it's physically impossible for them to be.
More than 1,000 community patients in Lewisham live with psychosis. It means they can lose contact with reality, hear voices, suffer hallucinations or delusions.
They leave residue, like slimy stuff. No, that's nail varnish. See, I mistake stuff, but see this all here, that's where they've been, here. And there's bed bug stain. I had to pull the carpets up because they were my carpets. And this room used to be my room. Not anymore though. We moved upstairs and then I started going out in the public hallway around Christmas time.
So what would you do? You'd sleep out there?
I was just sit out there, listen to my music, up all night.
Would the neighbours complain or?
Yeah, they all complained. So they caught me on CCTV camera, undressing myself on public hallway. But I said I had no choice because I couldn't get dressed in my own flat anymore. That's why I did it.
Is there CCTV cameras out there?
Yes, there is. So they looked on there and they saw me sitting out there daily, night times. I was just sitting, listening to my music, enjoying myself, you know, enjoying the calm atmosphere around me.
Tamara ended up being sectioned, her first admission to a psychiatric hospital. But as we'd discover, every day she walked a tightrope, unsure whether she'd end up having to go back. In that way, Tamara's like many patients looked after by Jim, a social worker with the community mental health team. Run by the council and the trust, it looks after 350 patients.
Her house is the one behind that tree, where the blue car is.
If Jim kept them well, they kept their independence. This was care in the community. He's been attempting to visit a 50-year-old female patient with paranoid schizophrenia. But she never answers her door. She's refused medication for more than 4 months.
Do you feel a bit like a detective sometimes?
Yeah, that's very much part of what we do, I think. You're trying to elicit symptoms sometimes. Other times you're just trying to find out if someone's alive or not.
This is Ray, Bermondsey born and bred. He went to the same school as Mad Frankie Fraser. 5 months ago, he had to take his son Lloyd into a psychiatric hospital. He'd been hearing voices.
I was terribly worried about him, you know.
Getting in trouble, wasn't I?
What was going on? Well, I was in a lot of trouble, different things.
In trouble with the police all the time, weren't they? I got nicked trying to nick a turbine, a wind turbine, off of a boat.
Was that your illness?
Yeah, that was the illness, yeah. It was,
What was it telling you to do?
Well, what it is, I hear a voice, and it's quite specific. Martha, her name is, she's 30. She's got quite a specific, you know, character. She's got a character as well. And she had me running around London at various addresses in my dad's car. And I just got the ump because I was using all the petrol and upsetting the ozone. So I wanted to get something like a turbine to power the flat. You know, like a wind turbine. I know it sounds crazy.
How long have you heard the voice?
3 years and 4 months. But, yeah, she's talking to me. Just blabbing on.
What's she just told you?
She's told me she doesn't like the cameras being here just now.
Why?
I don't know. Why? Why don't you like them? She just doesn't like them. She doesn't want to say. She don't like the cameras. She's not uncomfortable with it that much, as long as I'm all right.
Sometimes you can hear him talking out here.
Yeah, sometimes.
I don't take the notes because I'm used to it.
Yeah.
But he's talking. Obviously, I should imagine he's talking to the voice.
Yeah, I am.
I mean, I don't say nothing because I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't embarrass anybody. So I'll just sit there. But he's okay. He's making a cup of tea. He says, "Do you want a cup of tea to me?" I'll say, "Yeah." He says, "Or coffee." I'll say, "Yeah." Then he's.
Yeah, he is sniggering.
You can hear him sort of talking to it. You know, I sometimes hear him. He sleeps in the other bedroom where I am, on the main one, and I can hear him. He goes, you know, yeah, you know. Then he goes, yeah. And then he'd go to sleep, you know what I mean? But it doesn't worry me now. It did at first because I thought, well, you never know, do you? I don't know.
Yeah,
you know,
if you take notice of the voices.
You know, I don't know. He takes notice of it, so it could be anything, couldn't it? I didn't want him to say, well, get up and hit your dad over the head or kill your dad.
Yeah, it doesn't work like
You
that.
know what I'm saying? I know it sounds silly, but you wouldn't have no chance, would you?
So your dad's going away?
Yeah, so I'm staying here for the weekend, and I feel a bit edgy, but I feel alright. It's all right. I know it's paranoia. So it's mainly paranoia. So just a bit paranoid. Just leave the telly on really, and watch. Sky's got all the Sky channels.
This is the first time Ray has left Lloyd alone in the house since he was discharged from hospital.
Have you parked the car up, mate?
Yeah.
The illness brought uncertainty into their home. They were trying to understand what schizophrenia meant for both of them.
Keep in touch, won't you?
It's just a matter of staying stable. You know, it feels unstable. And especially with this thing going on in Woolwich. And you hear a lot about schizophrenics on the news. That he was schizophrenic and he murdered someone and stuff like that. They're going to.
What do you mean? Things like that make you feel paranoid about
Makes me
going
feel,
out?
yeah, it makes me feel worse, like, in case I could do that, you know? Looking forward to having a good chinwag with her. I haven't been on my own for ages, you know what I mean? I know it must seem crazy. Stop laughing. Stop laughing.
It's now been 5 weeks since Jim's seen Rosemary, a woman with paranoid schizophrenia. She stopped taking her medication. The most common cause of relapse among psychotic patients.
I don't know what condition she's in, whether she's near to a complete relapse, and what her mental state is. I mean, those things are ongoing risks for her.
Are you a bit concerned?
Yeah.
Around a third of Jim's patients refuse to engage with him. Tamara is one he needs to visit several times a week. She can change by the day.
Hiya, Tamara. I've come to get you for the meeting with Dr. Werner.
Oh, okay.
You all right? Do you want a couple of minutes?
No, come in.
You all right like you are? I think... Oh, you want to get dressed first?
He doesn't give me the right medication anyway.
Well, that's why you're
What's
coming
the
to...
point going?
Well, you need to tell him what you do need, don't you?
Sleeping pills.
I won't keep you too long and we'll get you straight back here.
I want to take one a night. Otherwise, if it's too low, I'm going to take too many. And then I've got to wait another 3 weeks before I get another load.
Okay, well, it's you're going to have that discussion with him.
Keep having discussions with him. He doesn't seem to listen.
Well, we've got to get it right, haven't we?
He seems to not get it right, though, this doctor.
You've got to give him a chance tomorrow. All right, in you go.
Keeping Tamara well is complicated by her long-term addiction to speed. It's likely to have been the trigger for her delusions.
Hiya.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So you want to join us?
Huh?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I know we sort of talked about the speed, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, how much do you spend these days?
70 a week.
Oh. It's a bit more, isn't it, than I thought it used to be a little bit less, is that right?
Yeah, but what's the point giving up? Takes my pain away. But let's talk about medication now, because I'm not talking about speed no more. That's just
Okay, yeah,
let's
keep that out, yeah.
I don't get out of my bed if I don't have my speed. I don't do shopping, I don't do nothing with myself so long I've got my speed. I rely on my speed on a lot of stuff. I've lost my kids into foster care. Yeah, they're in foster care now. I just can't cope anymore. So with the speed, it numbs my pain inside, and when I'm normal, I get upset about the kids, definitely. Because I do miss them.
She knows she's got a drug problem, but she also believes with her heart that it helps her. And the drugs she chooses would not be ones that we think do help her. But she disagrees with that fervently. I think we still have a duty to work with that.
Do you want to get it for me, Jim?
Yeah, if I leave it here.
He's a nice bloke, Jim, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Does he look after you?
Yeah.
I think he's quite fond of you.
Oh, do you?
No, not in that way. Just fond of you and like he likes you.
Ah. That's nice. I'm noticing that.
You know when you're out and about, you wonder what other people think of you.
No, because I don't care. Some chat me up, some rob me. Some might ignore me and not notice me. It depends on how I look.
A lot of people are scared of mentally ill in the community, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm not. Because I know they're not. I've been in the hospital with them. They're harmless, really.
tell you're lucky. To know what you leave.
Tamara had lived in the shadow of mental illness most of her life. Her mum had been with psychiatric services for years. Now she'd had to say goodbye to her own kids. They'd been in care for 5 months, and she knew there was little chance of them coming home. But despite everything, she refused to let her illness beat her down. Others were still struggling to come to terms with it.
Hello, all right.
Lloyd has been on his own all weekend. It's the first time he's managed it since he left psychiatric hospital.
Coffee. I'm all right, thanks, mate. How you been?
Yeah, not too bad. I did pop out and get some cigarettes.
How was that?
Paper. It was all right. I was pleased I did it when I got back. You know what I mean?
Were you worried when you were going out?
At first, yeah, but once I got out the front door, I was fine. It's just the first couple of steps. Just the first few steps. Yeah.
Lloyd was unusually open about his illness, as if telling us helped him unburden himself. He was keen that we see him talking to Martha, the voice.
I did a bit of a video report, and I tried to capture some of the schizophrenic voices while.
Should we have a look?
Yeah, okay. It's 10 o'clock, 9:45. He's been gone. My dad's been gone 5 hours now. No, not more than that. 11 hours, and I'm feeling all right. Just eating some sweets. I'm just getting you to hear her voice, hear her when she speaks outwards. You're a silly girl. Say a bit louder for the man. She's a silly girl. Her name's Martha Bosky, from the Bosky Bar. She's from the Bosky Bar. You from the Bosky Bar? I didn't think you was. She's not from the Bosky Bar. Please forgive me.
He first became ill, in 2007. At that time, I don't know exactly, but he was 37, 38.
So nothing before that?
No, nothing that we are aware of. And there were, stressful, quite significant life event. It was, the separation from his girlfriend. And the following year, it was the death of his mother.
So before there was no mental health issue. Is that unusual?
No. You can have first episode of schizophrenia in people who are 60 years old or so. It can happen.
I don't know what people are going to think about the paranoid schizophrenics in the community. Usually when you hear of schizophrenics, they've usually chopped someone up or they've usually shot someone. So it makes me quite worried because I don't know my own mind.
His anxiety symptoms have deteriorated as well markedly. One element that's playing a part in this has been his increased use in alcohol.
So is the drinking, is that him medicating himself?
Yes. We discussed about the harmful effect of alcohol, and he thought that it was better wine rather than beer. So, in fact, he increased and, started drinking a bottle of wine, a day.
It's because I don't feel stable, that's why. And drink helps me to stabilise myself. But the problem with that is once you drink too much, if I had 3 pints, it would be fine, but I don't, I'd have 6 pints. Or something, or 9 pints.
I'll see you, Lloyd.
Lloyd was all too aware of what the schizophrenic label meant. He locked himself away and drank through the worry. It was his way of dealing with it. But it couldn't go on forever.
I'm just ringing to see if you've had any recent contact with Rosemary Johnson since our last attempted visit.
Jim's concerns about Rosemary's mental health are growing.
Right.
Today, psychiatrist Dr. Werner is visiting with him. Jim wants an expert opinion on whether she's relapsing. But he'll only get that if she answers the door.
Oh, the bell's not working now. Hello, Rosemary. Can we come and have a talk to you?
No.
Rosemary, you know Dr. Werner?
Could you pop back?
You know Dr. Werner, don't you?
Could you pop back half an hour?
I can't, Rosemary. I've got to go to the office.
Come back half an hour. Come back half an hour.
You said that to me last time, and I came back and you weren't there.
Half an hour, okay?
You know I'm worried about you, don't you, Rosemary?
I'm dressed in. I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't
You
know
know
your
Dr.
name.
Krishna, don't you?
I don't know your name.
Rosemary,
I don't know your age or birth, you know. So could you wait 10 minutes? I'm dressed
Rosemary,
in, okay?
that's...
It's not going to get anywhere. She's going to keep this. We can't talk to her in that state, really. When this happened last year, just prior to her coming into hospital, she was knocking on the doors of the next-door neighbour who has 2 young children. She was disturbing the man upstairs by doing the same kind of thing. Hello, Rosemary.
Are you not where I live?
You know I know where you live, don't you?
You don't know where I live.
Your name is Rosemary.
How you found it? How you found where I live?
Because it's on our records in the office, Rosemary.
No, I didn't.
And you know what else I know?
I didn't tell you where I live.
I know that you're known as Kim.
I know.
Should I call you Kim or Rosemary?
Okay, what is your name?
Jim. My name's Jim.
What?
Jim Thurkle. There we are.
Okay,
That's my name.
What is the middle three? What is the middle name?
My middle name?
Yeah,
George.
I don't believe that.
You don't?
Okay.
You know what's named after?
I wonder you can say that. You put that by the way.
How old am I?
I wonder you can.
I'm not sure I can disclose that in public. Oh, you could ask me any other questions you want to, Rosemary. Where are you off to now? Can I come and see you tomorrow? Not tomorrow, Monday, I mean. What time Monday? She's licked it.
Jim was forever hunting Rosemary down. It said something much bigger about community care. It only worked if patients wanted it to work too.
There does come a time when, as last year, it was in her best interests to get her into hospital. And the only way of doing that was on a section of the Mental Health Act last year. And I think we may well be heading to that stage again now.
It is going to be a hot weekend. We started with sunshine across many areas, but quite a bit of mist and fog for England and Wales. Around the London area.
Well, we're waiting for police because she's not going to come willingly, I think.
Jim has reached the end of the line with Rosemary.
Rosemary?
A patient with paranoid schizophrenia.
Thank you very much indeed. Bye-bye. It's the power to remove someone's liberty. And there isn't any greater power, I don't think, under the law. And it's not something we treat lightly. I'm just waiting for police, because she's not... We're doing a Section 3 assessment, but she's not going to come willingly. There's a bit of me that thinks, why are we going to this length when she is leading the life she chooses? But ultimately, our assessment is that she doesn't have capacity and that she could be an awful lot better in terms of her mental health. We've tried all the other alternatives.
The front door's open. The front door's open?
Yeah, the front door, her front door.
Have we get a neighbour, perhaps?
Here. Yeah, do you want to look?
Actually,
Slip that up, probably.
Hello, Rosemary.
To section Rosemary, Jim and 2 doctors need to be satisfied it's in the interests of her health, her safety, or to protect others.
Hello, Rosemary.
Go, I'm
Rosemary.
busy now, just go.
I'm very worried
I don't
about
know
you,
you, I
Rosemary.
don't know your name, just go.
You
just
know-
listen,
you know Dr.
just-
Krishna?
Listen, just go, I'm busy now.
Rosemary, you know
Just-
Dr. Krishna.
Just go
And you've
there.
met Dr. Werner
Just
before.
go, all right? I don't know you, I don't know your
We
name,
need to talk
okay?
to you,
What?
Rosemary.
You go. Listen, you don't say that, no, please. Don't say that, no, please.
Okay, so we're going to complete section 3. We're just doing the papers now, and then take her to Triage ward, Lewisham Hospital. Okay. Section 3 of the Mental Health Act.
Was she sectioned last year?
She was sectioned last year, which was in October. Okay, Tom.
The paperwork.
Thank you very much.
Under
indeed.
Section 3, they can detain and admit Rosemary to hospital, against her will, for up to 6 months. Once in hospital, Rosemary will not have the right to refuse medical treatment.
Do you always feel comfortable with what you've done?
I don't always feel comfortable, no, not at all. But I know there are situations where there is no alternative, and today was one example of that. There is a bit in front of Rosemary that knows she's not well. Quite often, that's the telling point in assessments like this, where the person themselves votes with their feet.
Real gangster now fall like the Bulgravana. In a leather trench coat, me down in a Milano. Black leather felt disguise me maskina. Shade dark like night, me a tricky and keener. Decide for all I drink, so we go hit the casino. From me bust the door, we say guys are team up.
Whenever we arranged to meet, you could never be quite sure which Tamara was going to turn up.
You alright tomorrow?
Yes.
How you doing today?
Better?
Yeah?
Yeah, I have to get some makeup down the road.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's it really.
Oh, I got you something. Well, we got you something for your birthday. Only small. We forgot, we didn't know it was your birthday.
Oh, thank you. I can eat them, thank you. This is my first birthday present I've got.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did you end up doing anything?
No, I went straight to bed. But those tablets Dr. Vernon sorted out for me do work now.
On days like these, when Tamara was well, it was difficult to imagine her stuck on a psychiatric ward.
You're in recovery and you're getting better and better all the time,
On
isn't
paper,
it?
yeah. Yeah.
Only on paper.
On paper. I don't,
You don't
feel
feel like it?
Not at the moment. I've had a bad couple of days. And I've been hearing the voices a lot more. You know, the last couple of days I've been arguing with them and just... And I can't win. Can't win because the voices are there all the time.
Lloyd was struggling just to make it out of the house. He'd come to see his social worker, Emma, but he didn't look well.
I just want to curl up and lay down all day. I don't want to go out. I get up and I think I want to go back to bed and I can't sleep.
Have you been drinking at
No,
all
I haven't.
recently?
No, I haven't drunk. I went out for a drink on Sunday with my dad.
Yeah.
It might be the effects of the vodka. I had quite a few vodkas.
What's quite a few?
Half a bottle, I suppose. I've not been drinking every day. I felt like a drink yesterday.
The voices, his anxiety, and his drinking were all starting to catch up with him.
So I'm just worried about what's going to happen to me mentally. Over the next couple of years. I mean, my dad's not getting any younger, and just what I'm going to do and how I'm going to feel in a 6 months' time or a year's time. You know, I don't know. It's not nice not being well.
Jim's just been called by Tamara. Her long-term partner has walked out on her. The same thing happened 6 months ago, triggering her last admission into psychiatric hospital.
You sounded really upset this morning.
I am. I'm completely upset.
Yeah, I know.
You know, he keeps moving in and out. He keeps leaving me with problems.
So why did Matt move the bed in here?
Because he had enough of me.
He just wanted to be on his own.
He just wanted to be away from me, he said, because I called him a
Right.
And this place is just getting worse now.
Well, I'm quite worried about you at the moment.
No, I ain't going to no hospital. I'm fine in that aspect.
You don't want to go there?
Oh, no. Oh, no. I want to move out of here.
I know.
That's what I want. I want to live a normal life. And I live in a normal life is in a normal property with no bugs that attack you and have sore lips with it because of it.
Sore lips because of attacking
Bed
you?
bugs, yeah. They're all like around my face and that.
Yeah.
And then when I blow them out my nose and that, they land on my lips and then they're on my lips and attacking my lips. They're multiplying. Every day they lay eggs, 300 twice a day.
Yeah.
And they don't miscarry, neither. They're very fertile. You know, you don't get bed bug that miscarries.
I'm quite concerned about you at the moment.
Oh no, I'm fine. Yes.
Well, I need to let Dr. Vernon know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
He will want to see you.
Yes.
And then we'll all meet up.
Bed bugs are not mental, they are physical. They are here, in reality. It's not mentally, I'm not saying things, they are here.
I'm sure Dr. Vernon will want to have that discussion with you.
So, no mental health hospital will help me.
Would you want to go to the hospital?
No, I can't handle that again. The food was nice, don't get me wrong, but that wasn't. The noise and Edna singing Jesus songs all night. No, I want to sleep and have peace. No. Excuse the mess. Right, see you later.
Ta-ra, tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Jim.
She's not well, is she? I've not seen her as bad as this.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, she was on a par last time she came in hospital, but she's more disturbed by it.
Do you think he's thinking she might have to go back to hospital?
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's how soon, really. She's not going to agree to it, of course. She said that quite clearly just then. I was just testing the water to see if she might go in informally. But she doesn't think she's got a mental illness.
The last time we saw Lloyd, he hadn't seemed well either. Now, 2 weeks on, he seemed to have disappeared. We couldn't get hold of him or his dad, Ray. Something must have happened.
Your baby doesn't love you.
Psychiatrist Dr. Werner has come to see if Tamara's paranoia might require another admission to a psychiatric ward.
Hiya, Tamara. Is it okay for us to... Well, you didn't come in on Monday when we
Oh, sorry.
were due to see you. Okay if we come in now?
Yeah.
We've got the film crew with us, is that all right?
Hiya.
You sure that's all right?
Yeah. Mind your bed.
You still sleeping on there?
You sitting there? Okay. How is things? How are you sort of, you know...
I'm living with bed bugs,
Mm.
so I ain't too happy
Mm.
at all, leaving me in this shithole.
Are they somewhere around? I mean,
They're just in my bed.
do you want me to have a look?
No.
No? Okay. You have not been thinking about sleeping outside of
No.
of the flat? You, no.
No.
Last time we met, you gave me sort of these new tablets at a bigger dose.
Yeah, they're helping
Yeah?
a lot more better now.
Okay. You seem to be more calm. I mean, I can understand that you know, it's a lot of stress was what's going on, you know, Matt leaving, you know, and you're sort of being stressed out by the bedbugs. You seem to be more settled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for seeing us tonight.
Thank you.
I'll see you next week.
Tomorrow, are you sure you're all right about us being in tonight?
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. Remember about the film, don't you?
Yes.
You know all the...
Yes.
I'll give you a call later in the week, yeah?
Yes.
At the end of the week.
Okay.
The heightened delusions of a few days ago seem to have gone.
What's your level of concern now, Jim?
Slightly lower, I'd say. Yeah. I think I'm surprised she's coping as well as she is, although when you look at that flat and the condition of her, you think she's not coping at all. But in a comparison with what Tamara has been like before, then I think she's not doing so badly. So we've got to balance our judgment on where she is on that scale.
For now, at least, it means Tamara doesn't need to go into hospital.
Oh, hi Kate, it's Fidel here. Any further news regarding Lloyd?
We finally got word on Lloyd. It wasn't good. He'd been admitted to intensive care and was in a critical condition. He developed pancreatitis, a condition often caused by alcohol abuse and sometimes fatal.
He was binge drinking. I mean, clearly he's got a problem with alcohol, you know. He's in a serious condition. What we do hope is that he gets better, you know, and that he goes through this. But again, his physical illness are very, very, very severe indeed.
Could he die?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that bad?
Yes.
Hello, Rosemary.
Hello,
How are you?
Hello.
Is it okay if Pete comes in with me?
Sure.
Thank you very much, Rosemary.
You're welcome.
After 4 weeks of treatment and medication,
Thank you.
Come in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Rosemary is back home.
Oh, he was like one of the greatest on the planet.
I think there's many would argue with you there. They might with Rod Stewart, though.
You know,
How you feeling?
I'm well, you know, because lately I've just felt a bit better now. and
Good.
then.
That's good to hear.
I just felt a bit
How are
better.
you sleeping at the moment?
I'm sleeping fine.
You sleeping all right?
Sleeping all right.
Okay, that's good. Do you
You
feel...
like the Queen picture I bought it today?
Oh, that's
Greenwich?
lovely.
It was only 30 pence.
You've got so
and
many
I've got,
pictures
you know
in
what,
here.
I've got Prince Andrew and Sylvia.
I know.
I just need the Queen Mummy now. So at Christmas I listen to the royalty speech, Her Majesty's speech. She's an important lady.
Sure.
You know, I like
Almost as important as you. But you look really well.
Oh, thank you.
And you feel okay?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. All
Fine,
right.
thank you.
Because I first knew you when you were in your last place, didn't I? Nobody.
So, I don't know how you know me, and you just pop up on
I track you down, don't I?
I don't know, you know, you just like I don't know, you just pop up, and that's why. So they ask you, how you know we'll leave, you know? Well, this is my home.
Yeah.
This is my castle.
I know. And you're the queen.
You're the king.
All right, so I'll be in touch.
Okay.
You let me know if there's anything else I can do for you.
Okay.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Take care.
Come and see me again.
I will.
Next
Have no
time
fear.
When you ate the bird. Smile.
She's much more affable, amenable. I really like her. She's such a warm-hearted person. It's really good to see her with her personality back.
Rosemary struggled to accept her mental illness. She wasn't alone in that. It meant she'd probably always end up in and out of hospital. But when she was back in her castle, enjoying life, it seemed to make sense of what community care was all about. Treating those who are mentally ill with humanity, as people like us. It was the same with Tamara. She was chaotic, sometimes disturbed, but in between, she was funny and happy.
But you slept from Sunday through till Tuesday?
Yeah. Yeah, without realising.
How did that happen?
I don't know. I went to the shop, I said, excuse me, what's the date today? He said, date. He said the date to me. I said, no, the day. Tuesday, he goes. I thought Sunday. Jim?
Spending time with her, it was difficult to imagine that she was someone we'd have once locked away.
I couldn't fucking believe it, you know what I mean? I couldn't get my head around it. Your boy dies before you know what I mean? When I went up there was the worst part, when he was in the ICU, because I thought, well, how the fuck's he in there? You know what I mean? You've got to be really ill, haven't you? When I walked in there, I thought, he ain't gonna make this. No way he's gonna make this. Oh, fuck me, I couldn't believe it. I just sat there, I just fucking didn't know what to do, did I? I said, I can't believe it. He said, you find it hard. He said, it is hard. I mean, I don't mind telling you, I was praying every fucking night and all.
Well, I guess a drink helps you forget about the voices, doesn't it?
Oh, I suppose it does, doesn't it? But then what happens tomorrow then? What, you drink again? And then what the day after that, what do you do then? Bollocks, isn't it?
Ray had been at Lloyd's bedside every day for 7 weeks. Finally, he was out of danger.
All right? It can happen to anybody. You could be a millionaire, you could be anybody. And it's sad, it is sad, but they don't want pity. What they need is someone to care or show you're there to them, you know what I mean? You haven't? No, mate, that's 10 stone. How many? 5 kilos? It's not 10 stone, it's a stone. That's what's good, still, you can do with losing. It don't matter, does it? You can afford to lose it. Wish I could lose a few stone. You know, it's what you're a dad, isn't it? You know, anybody can be a dad, can't they? Wish I could lose a few stone. But you know, it's a man. There's a lot of difference being a proper dad. You know what I mean? It's easy to run away. Stay and fight.
I mean, everybody would tell you that I am the last person they'd ever felt that'd have nerve trouble. Right, spoiled. Anyone who you talk to. Lovely jubbly. Because I talk to anyone. Now, if it was the winter, I'd be putting a shot of scotch in here. 2 spoonfuls. One doctor said to me, it's like a hair on your head. How fine an hair is one side of it and the other side of it. That's how thin the margin is of being mentally ill or normal.
This is the world's oldest psychiatric institution. It used to be known as Bedlam, a place we hid those we called mad.
You need some medication.
Now known as the South London and Maudsley,
Andrew, I need to speak to you.
it treats 50,000 patients a year,
Any sign that you shit yourself?
I don't think so.
and numbers are rising. The staff and patients open their doors
Sit down.
to show us what Bedlam is like today.
You mention the Maudsley, they go, that's the loony bin. I say, yeah, no, it's not. There's people there that's got an illness. It's an illness. But they won't have it. They think you're all mad.
If you get to 65 without a serious mental illness, you probably think you're going to be okay. So did these people.
No, people don't understand me. They're not me. Not me. I don't know how to be.
9 months ago, Lorraine was enjoying her retirement with her husband Alan after a 25-year career working as a nurse.
But I don't remember me. I don't remember me.
Vera was volunteering as a home help, but now she can't look after herself.
How did all this happen? How did I end up in a psychiatric ward among all those people? I don't know.
And last year, Peter was teaching English in Istanbul after a life spent travelling the world.
I was an exhausted person and I knew it. I really hadn't got any get up and go, if you'd call it that. You know, get up and go. My get up and go had got up and gone.
None of them knew their lives were about to change and that they'd end up here on AL2, a psychiatric ward for older adults at the Maudsley Hospital. Sylvia has bipolar disorder. She had a 4-month stay on the ward. Despite being discharged, she came back as a volunteer helper.
They don't know what they're in here for, half of them. There's not one out there that thinks they're mad. Well, they're not mad. I don't like to think that I'm calling them mad, but they'll just go to you, what am I doing here? And you've got to work that one out, what to tell them. I used to say, you're in here for a rest. Didn't know what else to say.
People are afraid of old age, and of course they're afraid of mental illness, and they're afraid of them because they don't understand them, and which is why we pretend that they're a different species, because then we haven't got to encounter that prospect that there's going to be us one day. Ours is a society that kind of values perfection, and as you get older, it becomes harder and harder to remain perfect.
Morning, David! Morning, Terry.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well. A bit wild, but you know, that's normal.
Peter was the first patient we met. He seemed a bit eccentric until we were told he had a serious mental illness, schizoaffective disorder, characterised by mood swings and delusions.
I'm here because I took a few tablets and got picked up by an ambulance who decided I'd tried to take my life. I don't think it's true. Maybe it was leaving what I'd been doing for years. After all, I'd been teaching in Istanbul for 12 years, maybe to 15 years, I'm not quite sure. But it's a long time, and I did break from it, and it caused me some problems, which I wasn't handling very well when I came here.
He took an overdose. At the time he was describing how angels, or some force in his right hand, were forcing him to take it. So he was felt to be a very high risk of suicide, and it was an unknown quantity. We didn't know whether he had a depressive illness that he was perhaps masking, whether he had a schizophrenia where the voices were telling him to end his life. And so he came here for an assessment.
How many tablets did you take, Peter?
15. That's nothing. Wouldn't kill a cat, in my opinion. But a doctor would say, yeah, that's his opinion. But the intention.
Why did you take them then?
And to get help. It was a way, wasn't it?
Although he refuses medication, the doctors are satisfied Peter's now become much more stable and is ready to be discharged.
Not me, not me, not me. I know people don't understand me. They're not me, it's not me. I don't know how to become me. But I don't remember me. I don't.
Lorraine's been here 5 months and continues to baffle the staff. She was brought in by her family after becoming confused about who she is. She can't recall anything about her past. It happened suddenly, almost overnight.
We're sort of trying to understand the behaviours, the things that she's saying about I'm not me, and I don't think she does recognise herself at the moment, and I think it's very painful. I don't think she does know who she is. My conversations with her, she said, actually, you should lock me up, you should take me away and lock me up somewhere, and I kind of said to her, actually, you are, you know, this is a psychiatric hospital, right? And then she said, you should kill me, just kill me. And then she said, actually, I want to take a knife and I want to cut my head open. I can't stand it anymore, I can't stand it.
Hello, Lorraine.
Lorraine was admitted with depression, but as time's passed, the staff now believe she's suffering from an extreme case of dissociative disorder. It used to be known as hysteria and is rarely seen today.
I don't know where I am.
Lorraine.
I don't remember who I am.
It's probably fair to say that Lorraine is one of the most challenging patients that we've had to deal with, because it's quite difficult for everyone to get their heads around exactly what's wrong with her. But it was clear to us very quickly that this wasn't a straightforward case of severe depression.
I don't remember me. I don't remember me. I don't remember me.
Lorraine, it's really hard, isn't it, not knowing who you are?
Not me.
It's really difficult.
Not me. It's the truth, it's the truth.
And you just don't recognise yourself anymore, do you?
No.
This isn't the person you remember.
I don't remember me at all. I don't remember me.
You don't even know who you should be.
I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing.
The diagnosis is one of what we call the dissociative state. The best way to kind of think about it is that we all struggle as we go through life. There are things that we have to do that we find difficult. But sometimes life can throw something at you that sends you into a fantastic spin, a terrible kind of conflict with yourself, and you can't deal with it. And so the way that you cope with it is by escaping to a sort of different state.
What I thought really started me off was I lost my husband at 45. I lost my mum and my dad within 10 months, all the three of them. Never said goodbye to one of them. My mum was playing bingo at a hall. My dad was round the town hall paying his rent, and my husband, he was indoors, but he was in the bathroom, and he just heart attack and went over. And whether after a little while that got to me, because I felt as though death was following me round, because I had relations dying, friends, and and it seemed terrible. It seemed as though people was dying all round me, and as though it was my fault. I don't know why I thought that, but that's what I did.
Off the floor.
I'm not right like that.
Don't find in your head. You gonna agree? Okay?
No one quite knew how to treat Lorraine. Medication wasn't really working. But over the next 6 months, we were to witness something remarkable, something no one on the ward could have predicted.
Peter, would you give Vera a compliment with
Yes,
all,
I try to.
with all the charm that you can muster?
AL2 at the Maudsley is a psychiatric ward for over 65s in crisis.
What charm can you find? Can you turn on?
I think only the charm of honesty. I'm telling this truthfully. I've said it to you once or twice. I think that, yes, you know it.
When Vera was first admitted, she was frankly psychotic, very, very paranoid and agitated and suspicious. And the delusion that she had about myself and the nurses was that we weren't really doctors and nurses, we were actors pretending to be doctors and nurses, and that this wasn't really a hospital, that everything that was going on here was somehow a sham and a duplicate of a real hospital. And she had a conviction that something dreadful was going to happen to her.
Can you give Peter a compliment back with all the charm you can muster?
Yeah, I did say I'd join this group today and just sit and listen. And you're trapping me into...
Am I trapping?
Yes, you are. Oh.
Before she came here, Vera had never suffered from a mental illness. Medication has brought her psychotic delusions under control, but now she suffers with extreme anxiety.
Oh.
She hasn't been home for 6 months. Tonight she's spending a night alone in her flat to see how she copes.
Oh, I can't do this. I don't want to do it. I don't want to stay here and I don't want to go there. What do I do? Where do I belong? I really want to have a cigarette.
The nurses have booked Vera a taxi, but even that has set off her anxiety.
It won't be there. It won't be there. You watch. It won't be there. It won't be there. See, it's not there. It's not there. It won't be our cab.
Yeah, that's the cab there. Where's your point?
Oh, no. Can you wait a minute, driver? Thank you. He says they can.
And how do you feel about the prospect of spending your first night at home?
Nervous. Oh, very nervous. It's been about 6-7 months since I was at home. And now I don't know if I can cope with it. I don't know. Oh, God. I've always been a fairly strong, confident person. But I'm not now, am I? I'm not now.
So can it feel quite lonely in there, even though there's lots of people?
Sort of. But it's even lonelier here because there isn't anybody.
So what's the answer, Vera?
I don't know. I don't know.
When were you at your happiest?
With my first husband. And with my second, but it wasn't quite the same.
Was he your first love?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. He was 57 when he died, and I was 35. I got married at 19. No children, you see. So there we are. I don't know if I can cope with staying tonight. I don't know whether to phone and go back to the ward or not. I don't know what to do. I can't just sit here all night, can I?
After just an hour at home, Vera telephones the hospital, asking if she can come back to the ward.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't feel I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye. She's phoning me at 8.
First day I went home, didn't want to go home. There's letters all over the floor and And then in the finish, I didn't want to go back. I said, no, I'll stop. And I stopped. And then I stopped for a week. And I went back and they discharged me. And touch wood, I ain't been back since. Only to do voluntary. But I can understand how some of them people feel in there. It is hard to come home. It's different now. Where you used to have right tight neighbours years ago, I mean, me and Josie next door, we still talk over the fence. But I couldn't tell you lives over there. Not like it used to be. But it's a different world now, isn't it? It is really. And I think sometimes it's a cruel world.
Lorraine has been here several months, but the staff are still trying to work out what triggered her sudden breakdown. She's been with her husband Alan for 32 years, but doesn't recognise him.
Lorraine's deterioration happened soon after she saw Alan nearly killed. I mean, Alan has had throat cancer and he's also got a heart problem. Then he collapsed in the street and she was looking out her window and saw a car coming and Alan collapsing in the street. And she witnessed that.
I want my wife back. I've got to have her back. I'll never leave her, never. But the worst thing was when she first came here for 2 weeks, they thought she was going to die. But she's come back and did me. So I hope she comes back.
Lorraine?
Lorraine has had a traumatic life. She was abandoned by her birth mother soon after she was born,
What's not right, Lorraine?
and in later life struggled with alcohol.
For Lorraine, something about the loss, the potential loss of Alan, those kind of attachment issues are huge for her. So I think that's something we've got to work on. And again, you know, it is her sense of self. Who is she?
We've come back with the keys. I don't think it's been done before. I don't know.
Peter's preparing for a life away from the hospital. He's just viewed a flat in sheltered housing.
Ah,
You want a couple?
I've got a cup of coffee.
Where you been?
I've been getting a house where you live.
Where I live? I don't want you near me. When you going then?
Ben.
Oh, when you going?
Monday.
You're not? You're leaving here Monday?
Yeah. I've got to get a bed, I've got to get carpet, I've got to make it right. You can't go in and lie on the floor.
Is it the latest wooden floor like this?
No, needs a carpet.
It's going to cost you a few bob, isn't it?
Mm.
You'll have to get a job.
Yes, that's what I intend to do.
Oh, you've got all your necessities, what you need.
It's
Excepting a good woman.
It's a good flat, a good woman.
Yeah.
I only react to love.
Oh! You You better watch out.
And
There's some
Daddy-
hot women round that way.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Yes, fantastic.
Do you feel excited?
A little bit off normal.
What do you mean a little off normal?
Normal is behaving myself in keeping with the ward, because I don't want to upset it, really.
So do you think off the ward you can be a little more off normal?
Yes.
Peter didn't want to be medicated. He'd always refused drugs on the ward. But on his own, in the outside world, it was a choice that felt more risky.
When you get better, shall we have holiday in Las Vegas?
Right?
When you get better, shall we go to Las Vegas?
Yeah.
You been there before?
Where?
Las Vegas.
No, I haven't.
All gambling. Have you been home anymore, Vera?
Once, I think.
Once?
They come and go once.
She gave me 3 bad injections. That's what's going into my body. That's why you see I'm not walking straight. It's not the foot. Okay?
Don't get no better in here, does it?
Vera is struggling to cope with the idea of returning home on her own. Peter, on the other hand, was hoping he'd be free to live as he pleased when he left the ward. But he's still being monitored by a community mental health worker.
Where is the safest place to cross?
How do you mean? The safest place?
Okay, you show me.
Right.
You show me where to go to cross.
Well, actually, I dodge the cars because
do you?
I got a habit. We got a habit in Istanbul, you know. We don't live so carefully.
I do though. That's not safe. I want you.
It depends what you classify as life. Now, here, I suppose, the traffic light. But there's a...
So how do you cross? You wait for the light to change or you press the
Well,
button?
I wait for the traffic to stop. Because this traffic...
I think you press this button, Peter.
Well, yeah, well, press it if you like, but I never do.
You never do? Oh, dear.
No, I didn't want to go this way.
Okay, where are we going to cross, Peter?
Well, any way you like.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't have
We'll have
crossed.
to look for a crossing, Peter. I don't want you to cross the road. Peter? Hold up, Peter, hold up.
Hold up?
Hold up. The thing is, my responsibility is to help you to...
But
what
I cross the road how
Yeah,
I please,
yeah, but-
okay?
But yeah, but I
have
know.
always done it and I
Yeah.
always will.
But it's still not
I
safe.
go across the road when I can.
Not
I'm
with the
not an
pedestrian
idiot.
crossing, Peter.
I'm not
I
an
know.
idiot.
I know you're not, but it's still not safe, and I still have to tell you.
Well, you have told me, okay.
I'd rather you use the pedestrian crossing next time. I'm being honest.
Well, you're a bit...
Yeah.
Please don't go on. It's only crossing a bloody road.
Yeah, but cars was moving, Peter, and they have to
I'm
stop.
not moving.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake, Andrew.
All right, don't get upset with me. I'm
I
just
am
being
a bit.
honest.
Yes, of course I am, because I'm being mothered and smothered. I came out of Istanbul, which is a city where they live.
Fine.
Peter struggled to accept his mental illness. He was a proud man. Maybe that's why he didn't want help, whether through medication or from support workers.
Am I discharged from that?
You're discharged from the hospital, 1, but you're not discharged from our care, 2. So you're still under the home treatment care, and that is our responsibility to come daily and make a report how you're coping in the community.
Well, I'm coping very well in the community.
Okay, fair enough.
But I'm obviously not coping with the home care thing.
Gonna press the buzzer, Peter?
Press the button, yes. There you are.
Thank you.
Now that's delighted you.
Oh, you make me feel good.
Okay.
You make me feel good.
Well, it works, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Look.
see, look at that. All of a sudden, Peter pressed the buzzer.
Miss Lorraine. Lorraine, I've got your morning tablets.
Can you sit up for me, please? Yeah? Thank you. Hair's all sticking up. Right. Painkillers and your multivitamins and your metformin. Can you sit up again for me? Lorraine.
Lorraine Akers is on an antidepressant, sertraline. She's on Senna, paracetamol. She's on vitamin B, Fortisip, and metformin and thymine.
Where
There are no signs that Lorraine is regaining her memory or any sense of her identity.
Can you tell me a bit about your life?
Okay, now, this is not this is my old room. When I was looking out the door, when people were coming, what I was seeing was the new version or an afterlife place, or that's where I would be going.
People look to me to remain cheerful and positive and confident that we can get people better. If I lose confidence that I can get someone better, then the team isn't going to be confident either. Now sometimes what that means is that I have to maintain a kind of confident exterior and a confident kind of facade, even though inside I'm thinking, this is the most difficult patient I've ever looked after.
Don't put yourself on the floor.
Professor Howard has decided on a drastic step.
Will you stand up for me?
ECT stands for electroconvulsive therapy, which is a terrifying name for treatment. I have colleagues who will never use ECT for their patients and just don't believe it's a useful treatment. But that's very different from my experience. My experience is that ECT is a fantastic, effective treatment for patients who have very severe depression. And the wonderful thing about ECT is that it gets patients better very, very quickly.
They inject you with something that's freezing cold, goes through your vein, freezing cold through your vein, and they put things on your head, and then you're out by then and you don't know nothing.
Peter had been out of hospital just a week when we began to notice his thinking was becoming more disordered.
Home is where the heart is.
Where is that?
The heart. Home, I should say. It's where we fell from. I've got to say that. And when I say I've got to, I'm telling the truth. Home is there. We fell. This is not our home. We've adopted the earth and we've destroyed the surface of the earth completely. It's not natural anymore, it's all buildings. And we've done that right across the face of the earth, and now we want to do it to Mars. We haven't done what we're supposed to do, find out what we are, where we are, who we are, and why we are. We haven't found out any of that.
Who are you?
Me, I'm a human being, but I'm more than that. I'm someone else as well.
Peter's psychotic delusions were also re-emerging.
This hand talks to me quite a lot. I ask always. I follow guides, yes, of course he does. He's the sun.
When did you last ask your hand something?
My hand just now. I don't remember what I asked before. Probably asked, are we all right? And the hand said yes. You're more than all right, thank you. And left foot talks to me, but I've not had a lot of communication with Hermes, who I've been arguing on his behalf. And I don't need to because they do their own arguing, but the world has been neglected. I've said you've neglected this world. And they have. It's true, isn't it? Yes, it is. Who's going to listen to my right hand? And that's the daughter of the Queen of the King of Heaven is there. Whether you believe it or not, it's the truth. It was the truth down in Egypt at the time of Ramesses II, and it's the truth now.
So, shall we start by seeing Lorraine, talking about Lorraine? Because she's having her ECT and everything else, it'd be good to just get that. So, I mean, I've heard all sorts of stories.
She was very restless and agitated after her ECT, and it did take 3 of us to assist her with her personal care because she was so agitated and aggressive. And after she was changed and she sat down on the couch, she was just fine. And then I went over to her about an hour later, and I was just chatting away to her, and I was like, "Do you remember my name?" And she was like, "Yeah, it's Emma." And there was just a few other staff around the lounge, and I was like, "Do you know their names?" And she was just like, "Yeah." And then I was just like, "What about your doctor? Is your consultant?" And she was just like, she had to think for about 30 seconds, and then she was like, Howard.
So I've never had a conversation, a proper conversation with Lorraine. So I guess it would be quite interesting to do that and see what she thinks, wouldn't it, about these things. Hello, Lorraine. Hi. I feel like I'm introducing myself to you for the first time. I'm Professor Howard. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. Good to meet you.
Thank you.
Come and have a seat next to me. So,
thank you very much.
there's an enormous crowd of people here.
Yes,
Wow.
there is.
Wow.
Wow.
And many of them have been involved in your care.
Well, there's 9 months. I have no recollection whatsoever.
Right. Gosh. None at
Nothing.
all. None at all.
No.
Amazing. And a bit frightening, I think, too, isn't it?
Well, it was hard to believe a couple of days ago when I was told I'd been here for 9 months.
Yeah. But
And I don't even remember talking to you.
Right. Well, you've never had a proper conversation.
No.
You've come into this room and sometimes lay down on the floor at my feet while I've talked to you. Yeah, a couple of times, yeah.
I hope I didn't lay on them.
No. No. You were very careful where you lay. Good. Great to see you like this.
Thank you so
Wonderful.
much.
Well done.
Nice talking to you.
Right.
Nice meeting everybody. I don't remember your names, but anyway.
The transformation was remarkable. After 2 sessions of ECT, Lorraine was barely recognisable from the woman we'd first met.
How amazing and how weird too to talk to her like that.
Yeah. Because I left on Friday evening, and then when I came back in yesterday morning, and Jennifer had been here all weekend, and she was just like, "Oh my God, wait till you see her." And yesterday morning I was like, just totally stunned how she was.
And isn't it fascinating that it was ECT that finally...
It worked because it's such a powerful intervention that she was able to believe that that's what made her better. And it was just like, so we saw with the sort of stimulant drugs and with the antipsychotics, we saw little but not sustained improvements, didn't we?
Yeah.
So this is just a bigger version of that thing.
The ECT had worked like a placebo. By radically changing Lorraine's treatment, it appeared to have given her the belief she needed to get better.
She calls it waking up. When I first woke up, what she was really keen to say was, you know what, I was a nurse, I did this, I did that, this is who I am this person. And it was like she was, needed to tell people exactly who she was, and that was very, very important, because for 9 months she'd lain there and said, I don't know me, I don't know me, I don't know who I am.
Out in the community, Peter's mental health was deteriorating. He'd been called in to see psychiatrist Dr. Rao.
Right, where would you like to sit?
Anywhere you like.
Okay, would you like to sit over?
Okay.
Over here?
Yes, of course.
One of my jobs is to make an independent and objective opinion about your mental state.
Okay.
Okay? Never having met you before and having read the previous notes. What is it, what problems do you feel that you have at the moment?
None. No problems at all. No,
Mhm.
no, I haven't.
Okay. How are you sleeping at the moment?
Very well.
You're sleeping well, without
Yeah.
any medication whatsoever?
No medication, no.
Okay. And what about your energy? What's your energy like?
It's all right.
When do you have your first drink in the morning?
I don't have a drink in the morning.
Okay, so what
I drink coffee.
So during the day, when do you have your first alcoholic drink?
I don't have an alcoholic drink.
So you don't drink at all now?
Well, not unless I'm meeting a friend or I go out and I have one.
Have you had any problems with drinking in the past?
Probably
Drinking
drank
too
much more, yes.
How much would you have been drinking in the past?
I drank a lot in Istanbul.
Well, what are we talking about?
Well, I drank 15 litres one night. We were trying to emulate Alexander the Great one, two of us.
Uh-huh.
And we discovered that he went to Athens and drank 15 litres of wine. And he drank another 15 litres of wine and he died.
But you had 15 litres that day? of wine?
We did drink 15 litres, but we mixed it, beer and
Right,
wine.
right, okay.
And I had an accident, broke my shoulder, falling off a stairway. But that's a long time ago now.
Yeah. But if I said to you, Mr. Rawlins, if I said to you that at the moment,
yes,
our feeling and my feeling and that the home treatment team's feeling is that you're probably in unusually good spirits. And as you get older, mental illnesses can be more subtle. They don't always present in a characteristic way.
No, right.
And my observation, Mr. Rawlins, is that you have got what we'd call hypomania. Now, you may not agree with that. You're slightly on the upside of what we would conventionally call normal.
Overactive.
Yeah, it's slightly more than that. It's actually a type of illness that's
Well,
causing you to be like this.
Oh, well,
I mean,
I'd better go back to Istanbul, hadn't I?
Do you think there's any scope for trying some medication that might help regulate the
No, I
your
don't
mood?
want to change
No.
myself. I've no intentions of changing myself.
Bit of a tricky one when the psychiatrist is saying to you that you might need treatment and you don't feel that you need it. It's always a dilemma with mental health, isn't it?
I've been discharged from the hospital, doctor.
I know. It's your choice whether you take medication or not.
That's right. Psychiatry hasn't changed, but when the man said, "You will not do this," I left England.
There's several Peters, if you like, out there, maybe hundreds of Peters out there, who are not a danger to anyone. They're functioning well. They may be regarded as slightly eccentric, but they're mentally unwell. It's only after the second, third, fourth episode of coming in with a simple presentation and going out like a revolving door, it then brings home to the patient the fact that there is something wrong.
I always thought people being in a hospital 2 weeks was long enough.
We're seeing the true Lorraine.
I don't know.
Because we're used to seeing you lying on a couch all day and not talking.
And me, I'm
You
the
never
type...
used to speak to us. Never.
No?
No. You used to mumble and be like, I'm not who you think I am.
Don't recall.
Yeah, and you used to say that I don't have a husband and I don't have a family.
Oh.
And I don't have a daughter. Can you imagine yourself lying down on a couch for 9 months and not speaking?
No. Not me.
The side we know of you is the Lorraine not talking, not communicating, not even opening her eyes, just wanting to lie down, having to sit you up for your meals.
I'm shocked.
I know.
The danger is that Lorraine just wants to pick up and be busy again and get her sense of self that way, rather than kind of peeling back some of the layers, which will be painful, actually, and thinking about who she is, really.
Would say something was wrong with me. You know, I always were worrying about everybody else, and I didn't like to bother anybody. So I probably kept it in too much and didn't realize what it was doing to me.
Did you think this day would ever come? You being discharged from the ward?
I can't believe I'm on the ward. That, you know, I've just always been me. So this type of environment, it would only be work-wise for me, looking after people. So for me to be here and not knowing how I got here or anything, yeah, it's quite overwhelming. Well, I want to get a double cheeseburger from McDonald's.
Although Lorraine's finally leaving the ward behind, she'll return for regular psychotherapy sessions and counselling.
Lorraine didn't disappear into that dissociative state for no reason at all. I mean, she disappeared into it because she was unable to cope with the pressures and strains of her life. Now, those pressures and strains, you know, may return and may still be there, but by coming back into life, she's exposing herself to the anxieties and the difficulties that drove her into that dreadful state.
Peter's meeting with psychiatrist Dr. Rao has made him even more determined not to take medication.
What's your opinion? Oh, you think he was rude? He was talking to a patient. Yes, he was. That's silly doing that. I can talk to it anyway. But I like doing that. I love my system. I'm not going to have it tranquilised by an idiot. He wants to put me in hospital and put me on treatment. I know what he wants exactly. He's got to be able to take me somewhere and prove that I need medication. What's he going to give it to me for? Being active? Isn't that my lucky day that I'm 86 and active? He didn't expect me to say no. He thought I would acquiesce and say, okay, what treatment if I'm a bit active, yeah. I don't want slowing down. That's the last thing. Is he mad?
Vera's been on the ward for almost a year, but has gradually started to regain the confidence she once had and is going home.
Have you missed the ward, Vera?
No. To me, that's what was a bad period in my life. I want to forget it. I'll miss the kind staff, but I won't miss being on the ward, because that means I'm a patient. I hope that's the last locked door I see. This is home.
This is home.
Vera was home, and this time she was happy to be there.
Thank you. Thank you. I just hope that it'll be all right and that I'll just grow old a little bit gracefully, I hope. I'm old enough as it is, I'm 82, but I don't know how many years ahead I've got or not. I'm just hoping that it'll be all right.
In a society, old people and people with mental health problems come right at the bottom of the heap, really. So if you're old and you've got mental health problems, you've got this sort of dreadful double whammy of disadvantage. And those of us who work in this area, we kind of feel, well, if older patients who've got mental health problems are being well looked after, then at least that's right down at the bottom of society's kind of interests and levels of importance. That somehow you can hope the rest of society will look after itself, so long as the people down here are being well cared for.
The time we'd spent on the ward made you think about your own parents, your own life, and how fragile everything was, how easily things could change.
Oh, we've got another new woman? Bloody hell. See what I mean? It must be the weather. I never really say, well, I am all right. But you get scared when you say that because you know how easy it is to go the other way. That's what I am, bipolar. I just remembered it. See, I do remember these things, but I don't know what it means. I ain't got a clue. I think it means that I'm double nutty.
Since leaving the ward, Lorraine has been readmitted twice. She continues to present a challenge to the doctors. And at 86, Peter is still managing his mental health the way he wants to.